like decadent cheesecake heavy, like double chocolate fudge cheesecake with chocolate whipped cream on it and just more chocolate.
Don't watch that.
Go ahead. Ed.
No.
Some people don't like when there's way too much chocolate in a heavy dessert.
Athlete working out every day.
Okay. I don't need to spit out my soup. I don't need to spit out my soup.
I'm a big fan of Naushka. That was one of my favorite personal. The Valley of the Wind, Naushka.
There was one with Ariete.
I guess that's how you say it in English. It's Naushka. The Valley of the Wind. You'll find it when you type in Valley of the Wind.
Oh, Valley of the Wind was awesome.
If you want some cool dragon shit, it's I think it's in English called Tales of Earthsea.
Yeah.
I mean, are you the one picking the movie, or is the other person picking the movie?
Theater.
Not true.
And they're all bangers. Yes.
House of Moving Castle is a great movie. Banger.
It's not.
Don't fucking
go ahead. That is definitely its influence. Spirited Away is the second one, and again, I have no boy in here.
Oh, I see my bok choy. Oh, I fell on the floor. Okay, chat. My bok choy is fine. In my mouth. Swallowing it.
I'm sure there is, yes.
Or rolling those big D100s.
And which side is which?
Okay, so
it's not that hard to read.
Enough. Roll a D20. The first, whichever one it lands on is what. Get a 2.
When you also not
you
want to be the one.
Secret Worlds of Arerete. Damn, Burning Your Dead.
Why did I pick Grave of the Fireflies?
Oh, 11, which is trash.
Yeah, that's one I have probably not seen.
I definitely think I had to pick one. Castle in the Skies.
You could also make a bunch of puns from a title called Spirited Away.
Kiki's Delivery Service is also.
Gotcha. I think that's the only one I've watched. Kiki.
It's not very violent, but it's about what compared to Castle in the Sky and fucking.
Yeah, some action.
Princess Mononoke and Castle in the Sky, it's not as violent. Yeah. No,
Did it get you?
It's a masterpiece of its fucking era. It has everything. It has everything. Yes, it has love, romance, violence.
A little bit, anything and everything all the time.
A little bit of comedy, a little bit of not comedy.
Psychological.
Yeah.
Lots of that. Lots of that.
Lots of that. Well, it's the classic. If you watch it for the sake of watching it, you'll enjoy watching it. But there's like 4 different meanings behind it, each layer, that you'll get it as you're an adult or you rewatch them. And they're not retarded movies like these American ones. Yeah. America's got a lot of retarded movies, to be honest.
Hollywood's been
I
bad.
know. Sinners. I liked.
I don't know what.
Had war.
You want to feel 80s? The Crimson Pig is a good one. I think it's in English called Porco Rosso. Porco Rosso.
That's also
yeah, and it's spelled Crimson Pig. A really good one.
Here comes the Crimson Pig.
But it is about ace pilot and which one? Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Bye.
では、前に出ます。
Hello, chat. How's it going? Okay, I just got the tweet live. Do me the favor, go give it some love. Let me grab you guys today's sauce. Just before the Steam sale ran out? Nice. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they were still on sale or not. I picked up the Lego Batman series and the Star Wars Skywalker saga. Who's the artist of the background? That is Dan Keku. Let me get you a link. Usually any of the artwork for like the starting screen that I have, if you go to my Twitter profile, you'll see a hashtag called AureliArt, and that is literally where you can find all the sauce for that. There we go. I grabbed it. Okay, let me get live here, chat. Hello, everybody. Here is today's artwork. Go give the artist some love. And Eric, there is Dan's tweet for you. I just happened to be right on my Twitter, so it was easy to grab. But again, hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. Work was a lot today, but I managed to at least like get through it. I got a really nasty tax notice off my ass, and I'm happy for that. Bob, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 76 months. That is a long time. Thank you to the follows while I was offline. And again, hope you guys basically had a good one. Today's a little weird because normally I start the week with you guys on Monday, but because of Labor Day, I said, hey, you know what? Let's not stream FGO yesterday. I'll just, continue to play some more Lego Star Wars. So we chilled out on that and had some fun and enjoyed the holiday. Barton, thank you for the 82. Appreciate it. Chat, can we get some love? Today, though, I got to talk to you guys because for those of you guys that were aware, I went on a date Saturday. A couple people have already asked me about it on the Sunday stream and the Monday stream, and it went amazingly well. So everything's going good in that department. But I basically had already, as of the end of the evening Saturday, set up my next date with her. And that is basically going to be here tomorrow. So no stream tomorrow from me. However, what I didn't know at the time is that basically we have a live stream from NA. So they kind of dropped that one on us. They hadn't really revealed the date or anything until I think it was Sunday, Bob said. So basically, I'm just kind of at a loss here, and I can choose to obviously either stream the pre-recorded Wandjina event stream with you guys tomorrow or go on a date. And no offense, guys, I'm going on a date. So basically, I just decided it's like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. If you guys are curious, I do have the Wandjina guide already on the YouTube, so feel free to go check that out. They're not gonna say anything in that live stream probably that isn't in that guide anyways. So if you guys need the TLDR, you guys can always go watch that. Inconceivable, exactly. Go have fun tomorrow? Exactly. I've never felt so unattractive in my life. I'm sorry, Jay. You are definitely attractive in your own right, okay? But no, I it's just one of those deals where it's like this sort of thing is probably going to happen to me, chat. I have to Please don't hold it against me, is all I can say, because I have to basically prioritize her over anything else at this point. It just is what it is. It's the nature of dating. It's the nature of having, or finding somebody that could be a significant other. It's like you've got to put them first, basically. So I've known that. I've said that before. It's been a while since I've dated. I don't know if chat remembers the last time. It's been about 5 years for me. But the last time I did, I managed to balance stream and dating. So in that regard, don't expect that to be any different. There will be days where I probably can't stream. I will let you guys know. And there will be days where I can. So, but don't expect me to fall off the deep end. Don't expect me to be nowhere, anywhere anymore. That sort of thing is not my style. You guys should know that by now. I am usually very consistent. And if I'm not going to be, I let you guys know. You hate us, just say it. Exactly. Yeah, that's the truth. Don't worry, Cad. We're all adults here. We understand. I sometimes doubt that, but yes. Oh, Jesus, Trubs. What the heck? The hell's an adult? Exactly. Also, if you guys remember, did not get to go to Anime NYC. I had several people from VIP, from Team Explosion, all there, and they had a blast at Anime NYC, but they basically all got me stuff, which I won't say I didn't ask for someone to get me stuff. I did, but usually when I ask in a way of just get me some small things, right? So, but apparently I have an entire box. So We're going to play a little bit of a game later after I get my AP spent down, and that'll be fun. Is there a live stream later for the Wandjina event? Yes, that'll be tomorrow. I believe it's already been posted in the Discord. Let me double check. Yep. Yeah, the link to it has been posted. And JP actually has a live stream later this week, which I should be good for that. Like, part of the reason that I'm doing a Wednesday date here in the middle of the week is because she is apparently going to be out of town for about a week and a half. So I will kind of lose access to her in that time period. So it was one of the things that I talked with her about, is like, okay, well then, like, what if we do a date before? And she was really receptive to that. So, and she was the one that suggested the day. So I just let her dictate that and basically went from there and did the plans. But so in that regard, I don't think you guys have to worry about me over the next like 2 weeks here. You know, we'll miss Wednesday, but that'll be it. 9 p.m. EST for NA. Yeah. Yeah, and you guys could always watch it on YouTube. You don't need me there necessarily to watch it. But like I said, I don't anticipate they're going to cover anything that I haven't already talked about. It just is what it is. It is a light volume, FYI. So if you guys are unfamiliar with the Chaldea broadcasting stuff, they will either have a normal broadcast or they will have a light broadcast. Light broadcasts are usually just the event, nothing else. So expect that is going to be a pretty quick stream, probably a half hour or less. So, but who will translate Albert for us? I don't think you need me to translate Albert. So we're going to have custody of CAD for almost 2 weeks. Yes, I'll probably be going stir crazy at this point. But no, so yeah, Friday morning, Trubs will be covering the live stream for JP. There should be a new event for that. And then NA is going to get the Wandjina event basically starting Thursday. So, because again, live stream Wednesday, you could expect it's Thursday. But beyond that, it is what it is. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of my current circumstances and that nobody was caught off guard. Anybody that's watching in the VOD after the fact will also know now. But I mean, again, it is what it is. I'm just going to try to do my best to balance both stream and her. So, says the event starts tomorrow on the in-game news. It's probably, so if you remember right, like things will probably go where it's like 9 p.m. Eastern. We have the live stream. And then for them, that'd technically be 6 p.m. like West Coast time, right? So it's probably the case of like, then we basically have like at midnight our reset and then the event starts. But for them on West Coast, so like I said, well, this would have been 6 p.m. for West Coast. That will mean the event starts like 9 p.m. for them. And that means that technically it's still that day. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maintenance tomorrow night at usual and then the event. Okay, yeah, so then it's just maintenance. So it's not even tomorrow. I don't know why they're saying that. That just is what it is. What's up, Burn? No one in chat will send Kiyohime after you. So I did have several people messaging me to ask me how the date went. I don't mind. It's fine. However, I will also probably like chat out of pure like annoyance factor and like trying to just save my sanity. I will try to not talk about it as much as possible, which means like I will mention it on stream and not have to like regurgitate it 100 times to 100 different people. That is already kind of happened with VIP. as I do feel it necessary to like fill them in with the general goings on of my life. But it's definitely one of those deals where it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to do it more times than I have to. But okay, where were we? Oh, I didn't even, oops. Hold on, chat. I gotta boot up OBS on this computer. Usually you guys don't see this. It's just a thing. Just give it a second. Should come in. There we go. Oh, why is it shifted like that? What the heck? Hold on. What? What? Huh? Okay, there we go. That is not normal. I was like, I don't know why it did that. There we go. Okay, but on the Richter scale, how thick? I actually don't really know. She doesn't exactly wear form-fitting clothing in like her pictures that I've seen, or in like for instance the dress that she wore to the date. So I'm sure I'll find that out. I'm not worried about it though. She is very pretty, chat. I don't know how to say that without just sounding completely unhinged, but it is perfectly fine by me at the current point in time. It's going pretty good, JC. Last 4 hours of grand raids? Oh, you mean without the... Ooh. Yeah, then I probably need to do that. That's so annoying, though, that they made this sync up with everything else. So basically, this is synced up to the end of the event. And we do, I believe, have a, like... a thing to do both of them. Wait, what was I... Which one was this? This was extra one. So this was... Buntoria? Yeah. I'll leave the storm pods on. I gotta remember how this comp works. Been kind of going through it, but stream cheers me up. Ah, sorry to hear that. Hope you had a... Well, you already told me you didn't have a good day, so hope you have a better one from here on out. Did you buy the teapots from the MP shop? No, I usually don't. Mostly because, at least on my JP account is not, like, so solid that, like, nothing can go wrong. We'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so... Go ahead and give it to her. She should be fine. There we go. Sorry. This comp's kind of wonky and I have to think about it at first when I first do it. Or the 32 million stuff. That I haven't done. I probably need to. I wonder what the servant was that got pushed back. I don't know. Like, to me, it stands to reason that it was probably our anniversary servant, but like before they decided on Olga, right? But I don't know. It's definitely an interesting concept, and it sounds like, based off what the devs have said, that it's going to be the Valentine servant instead next year. So that'll be interesting, because that, like, already after we're done with part 2, we are in, how should I put it? Like, uncharted territory, basically. Was there a servant that got postponed? There was a servant that reportedly got pushed to next year because of their choice to make Olga come out this year. But beyond that, we don't really know. That's not ideal. So basically, if you don't get the right cards, you got to fish. Does not matter what I choose here. I'm really just after the charge. Okay, it's one Buster card. Give her the extra charge. Keep shuffling. That's a Brave Chain, but that's not the best. There we go. There's Double Buster. That's what makes this comp so dumb. Is like you could just sit here and just keep fishing to get the cards. It's technically a card RNG comp, but there's no card RNG. Oh shit, it's my boy Camelot. I don't think it'll be someone like Camelot, if only because like Nasu has basically written a like college thesis on why Camelots can't be a servant. I'm of the standpoint at this point that they have already like bent and broken the rules so many times in FGO that like Nasu trying to sit there and arbitrarily claim that like things can't happen with regards to servant summonings is kind of hilarious. But it is what it is. Enter the main one, yeah. Is it the Bleached Earth quests are going back to half AP? I'm sure they are, Zerebus, because they basically gave it to us early for the first event. So I think you can anticipate that it will. Didn't get the right cards. Didn't get the right cards. I think that kills. I think a quick card and a Buster combined kill. So we'll send it. They also gave a silver apple every day. That they... Wait, did they do that on an A already? Because that I don't think they necessarily would do. Because that was something that they did on JP. But like, it was also in conjunction with the update that gave us that. So I could see them like delaying that if they hadn't already done it. We got the apples? Okay, well, that's surprising to me, but hey. Spaghetti code for the win. And JC, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate it. I didn't get the Muramasa. Ah, shit. Sad to hear it, man. Maybe Camelot will become playable through gender bend like Malay. Maybe. Like, there's probably a what-if scenario that they could do to make him playable. I think that's like their big issue overall. It would be more AP efficient to wait till the day of the event and build up storm pods. I don't know if the event is pretty much a dead first day and didn't play it on JP. So the way events usually work, just let's talk regardless of the Wandjina event. Okay, yeah, obviously early on your nodes are usually bad. However, what are you doing with your AP right now? So ask yourself this. Free quest clears? Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is that will always be there. Okay? Yeah, half cost embers is maybe an intriguing proposition. But let's just consider the normal reality. The normal reality will be that prior to an event, you're not really doing anything. So you have a choice of making blue apples, or whatever else you're doing at normal AP. Just use your storm pods. The logic goes like this. You can either make a blue apple now and wait until the event comes out to then pop your storm pod at half cost, which will then net you basically 20 AP at the cost of a blue apple seedling. So the question really boils down to, how much do you value your seedlings? Some people probably won't care. For me, they're a finite resource. I have gotten fairly low on them at times. So I don't really want to like use them inappropriately. And I feel like if you're just going to make a blue apple only to like turn around and use it immediately, that's kind of one of the most inappropriate uses of it. Okay. So it is what it is. But for me personally, I don't value that. I think it's basically a better idea to go ahead, spin the storm pods, start the event at 0 out of 9. That way you can just be max efficiency in the event the entire time. But there is logic to this. Like, if you want to go ahead and use the blue apples because you don't care about the seedlings, if you want to go ahead and farm, like, for instance, right now, the half cost embers, go ahead. That is definitely, like, your prerogative. Generally speaking, I aim to start an event at 0 out of 9. And then from there, I aim to end an event at 9 out of 9. Unless I just get the event done early. But that's usually how I max efficiency it. Oh, fuck. I had escaped too many times. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it really just depends on your priorities. For me personally, that's how I've always done it, and it has suited me well. I think if you're somebody that's like even more wasteful with blue apples, then you need to be really careful. And if you're somebody that barely ever touches blue apples, then you're probably fine and you can do exactly what we were just talking about. And there might not be a material gate, more of a time gate for the next part. The Wandjina event's very simple. I don't even think it has a ladder. I think it's literally just straightforward from what I remember. So it's like this one may be an exception to the rule. Yeah, there may be logic to postponing, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I usually use day 1 to like get at least like the C's and stuff like that. It's a good Fool's Chain note again. We have the link over here on this side of things. Let's see if I can grab it for you. Actually, I'll try to add it to the YouTube commands. There you go. Here's the spreadsheet. That has the best efficiency for nodes. Yeah, I did not get to go. I was also, if chat remembers, I was like dead sick during Anime NYC while it was going on. So I had all of them like checking in Discord occasionally, but like I myself was just completely like bedridden most of the time. I'm planning on rolling the banner, so Nat AP of the shop should be easy. You can usually Nat AP everything, even if you didn't roll, if you do what I said. I cannot say that that's like the way you have to do it, though, because obviously some people will just be like, whatever, I'll just pop an apple, right? So it is what it is. Cat is a tower event, take him down. I am, in fact, a tower event. How did you know that, Ash? So if we were to use disgusting non-imperial units, aka metric units, I am 200 centimeters tall, which means every centimeter is a floor. So I am, in fact, a tower event. I don't know if chat knew that. That's pretty tall. That is pretty tall. Chat, I feel like a lot of chat have not really seen me like stand up. So here, chat, let me give it to you. I'm a little bit bedridden because I was working out right before this. But yes, congratulations. This is what I look like. So needless to say, I basically don't have to stand up. Box time? No, not box time yet. I gotta do NA. Dad should get an Alaskan king-size bed. So, fun fact, I sleep on a queen. But to be fair, okay, like, a king would not help me out appreciably much. Kings are usually not longer, right? They're just wider. But yeah, like I have heard, I think there is like the Alaskan one and like some others that are like, they're actually just bigger and longer. More diagonal though, I'm fine, even on a queen. Like I am just tall enough that like my feet basically rest on the footboard of my bed. If I were like maybe an inch or two taller, I would hate my life. So I'm glad that I'm not. That may be why I stopped growing at the size that I did. I don't know. But no, yeah, I don't have to sleep corner to corner. Any advice for the fact that we only get one lotto next year on NA? God, I'm so tired of that question. Only because the idea and the concept of like we only get one lotto. You're fine. Trust me, you'll absolutely be fine. I don't know why everybody made such a big deal of it. Basically, FGO only getting one lotto, I think, only hurt the people that like blew their wad and expected not to like get anything. You're 6'6"? No, sorry, yeah, I may have told you guys wrong. I think I'm actually, is it like 198 centimeters? I'm close to 200, but like I am 6'6". Oh dang, I'm only like a little taller than you are. That's rare. I usually don't find anybody that's taller than me. This actually came up on the date, and I was like talking with her about it. I was like, I can honest to God count the number of times on my hand that I have met somebody taller than me. And it is very rare. Basically, I want to say like 4 of the 5 times that I've met someone taller than me were all basketball related. The 5th time was I randomly walked by somebody that was taller than me. And I remembered it because I was like, I basically mod checked that shit because I was like, huh? It's a very, like, if you think it's weird to see someone as tall as me, imagine how weird it is for me to see someone taller than me. It just does not happen. It's very, very rare. Rare CAD looks up moment. Yes. Yeah, like, I cannot stress to you guys enough how much I am always looking down at people. I almost never look someone like eye to eye. And even if I do, it's at a slant. It's like... How many once at a grocery store, a guy was like 7 feet tall? Yeah, it happens. First time Cad said, how's the weather up there? Yeah, I've never gotten to pull that one on anyone else. Two tree passing in the forest. Yes, pretty much. Like I said, it is an absurdly rare occurrence. It does not normally happen. The tallest friend I had was 7'2". That's tall. Like, holy hell. And chat, I want to say I am the perfect height. Beyond my height, I would start hitting door frames. I would basically have issues with clothes. I would struggle to fit in cars. So, like, if I was any taller, that would be a problem. How do you mean by everyday life? Yep. How was the date overall? The date was good. I am already scheduled for the second one. Is this Hayashi again? It is. I'm only 6'4", and I don't find many people taller than me either, though. Yeah, my brother is 6'3". My father's only like 5'11". It's fucking hilarious. Because everyone always asks him, where did he get the height from? In fact, so today we hired a new temp girl, and she basically was like, huh? He's your son? Because that happens. And like, if you see me with a shaved face, I look exactly like my father. But it is really funny in that regard because everyone's always like, but where did the height come from? And it basically... The best I could figure is like my father's father was about 6'2" himself, which back then, that's a really tall guy. So like, I think it just kind of skipped at him. Like the genes were still there, but like he didn't get the actual height necessarily. Being in chain hell is just as bad as being in bone hell. No, chain hell's a little bit more manageable. Recessive genes? Not necessarily. It's just like genes are kind of funny the way that they work in that regard, where like it could be a dominant gene and you could just still not get it. It is what it is. It all depends on how you were formed at birth. Your father said pass and double it? Pretty much. That happened to me with my grandfather, except it was the genes for premature balding. Oof. So, usually, if this is you, chat, and you have your father and your mother, usually your hair's genetics comes from your mother's side. So... if your mother's side has hair, you'll be fine. If your mother's side does not have hair, you will be oof. And this is actually kind of how it works in our family, although I think my brother also kind of got a raw deal because he seems to have inherited more of my father's genetics. Whereas my hair, my hair looks exactly like my uncle's on my mother's side and exactly like my grandfather on my mother's side. I will have a full head of hair when I die. That is the one, that is the one benefit to me. I am very happy that I inherited that gene. Especially because, my brother might be balding. My brother's also married and has a family and children, so he's fine. He can go bald. Me, I'm still single. I need the hair. You can always opt to shave it bald. Yeah. Women like bald men. I've at least heard. So I don't think it's got the stigma that it used to. You can start balding after the second date. No, I don't need to. Also, low key, chat. If your woman makes you bald, that's not a good thing, right? I mean, she's stressing you out. Need is a double-edged sword. True. I have all my hair, and most of it's still my original color. Not bad for my age. That is really good. That's probably the one bad part that I got is chat. It's obvious I am going gray. I'm still predominantly my color, but in probably another 5-10 years, I will be far more gray than I am now. And it is what it is. If I had to, I could dye it, but it's even getting into my beard now, so it's a matter of time, chat. Just dye it full white. I don't need to become the Colonel. I'm good. Silver Fox? No. So I always tell ladies this, and this one works for me. I am not I will never be salt and pepper because that's what everybody says. Ooh, salt and pepper, that's a good thing. And I'm I'm brown haired, so I wouldn't be salt and pepper. I'm cinnamon sugar, which means I'm sweet. The old comes for us all. It does. That's smooth indeed. Everyone in my house is about the same height, but my younger brother that is 2 heads taller than us for some reason. That's kind of how I am. There's definitely a tier system in the house, but my sister, my sister's 5'9", so she's fairly tall for a girl. And to some people that might not sound that tall, but chat, oh my god, the number of women that are 5'2". Oh my god. That has definitely been one of my issues dating. It's technically there's no problem with it, but there is a point where you have to say okay, the height difference is so large that this is becoming problematic. Tell younger sibling gang rise. Yeah, I wonder why that sort of thing happens. I wonder if it's with each passing child, the genes grow stronger or something. I don't think it necessarily is, but I wonder if there's something there specific to height, right? Because I definitely feel that's the case with a lot of younger siblings. Do you watch Doctor Who? I've never seen Doctor Who. I'm aware of the premise of it, though. To be fair, I don't really know how I could have watched it other than piracy. Because, I don't really have access to any British channels, and none of the services I ever had really ever had it, unless, Netflix had it at some point and I didn't realize. Average woman height in USA is 5'3". No, let me tell you. The reason the height is 5'3", chat, okay? The reason it's 5'3" is because while obviously there are women that are, you know, like 5'9", like my sister, and even taller up into the 6 feet mark, like, do you know how many women are like 4'8"? I don't know what happened, but there are so many women that drag that average down. And his wife is 6'4". Damn. Good for him. My sister is sub 5 feet. See? It's just this what it is. But it's kind of funny because I feel like I actually feel like men are getting taller and women are getting shorter. It feels like we're actually like spreading away from each other. Shorties, yep. My sister is 5'2", her husband is 5'10". Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty normal. Like, all honesty. Average guy height is 5'9". Yep. Yeah, and which is, so think about that, chat. Like, why is the average female height 5'3" and the average male height 5'9"? Like, there's a 6-inch gap there. Don't get me wrong, it's probably been that way, but like, it's still kind of wild the more you think about it. Men are getting shorter in my area, at least. Yeah. That's, she did tell me one of her exes basically, like, because she's like 5'9", chat. And she said one of her exes was like 5'9.5". And every time she would wear shoes, he would get really defensive. Like heels, right? And he basically told her that she had to throw all of them out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. I told her too, I'm like, you can wear 1-foot platform shoes, you can be taller than me, and I won't fucking care. I might laugh at you, but I don't fucking care. Insecure man? Yeah. And I told her, I was like, I don't know how much of an issue that's going to be in the future, because I feel like a lot of guys are like, mommy? At least online, right? But it is what it is. I wouldn't laugh at her, but I'd tell her to be careful not to break her ankles, pretty much. I mean, let me be honest though, right? Like, if she came out wearing like 1-foot tall platforms, it would be funny. It would look like ridiculous. So I would laugh. Is where you tell us the new girl is 7 feet? No, she's not. She's tall. Most girls do not want to date a shorter guy. Yeah, to some degree, I feel like it's also equally on the women. Like, some women don't want a guy that makes them feel like they're too tall. And I can understand why, at least to an extent, because as somebody that is tall myself, my whole life I have been the center of attention, whether I wanted to or not. And that's probably why, like again, like, I can be a streamer and stuff, because I'm just used to having to field people's attention. Okay? So I can understand how that would probably, like, if there's just a sudden shift and all of a sudden they become aware of that can, like, really, like, make them, like self-conscious, okay? But, like, for me, it's been something I've been dealing with my whole life. I actually crave times where I'm not the center of attention because of it. Go by the numbers, and 95% of girls are chasing 1% of the men if you add everything in. I mean, sure, but I think you could also flip that number around, and you could say 95% of the guys are chasing 1% of the girls. You knew that I could date a guy shorter than me? How tall are you, Mega? You're like 5'3"? Chat, don't distract him. Chat's distracting me. I personally couldn't care less about height in a relationship. And to a degree, I do agree with that. I feel like if they're the right one, height does not matter, okay? You're going to make it work. But at the same time, height can pose certain challenges. It just is what it is. 5'2"? Yeah. Yeah, like, honestly, you're fine because the odds of you meeting a guy smaller than you are pretty slim, right? Actually, nope. Guys and girls look for very different things according to research. I don't need to get into this because I'm gonna stick my foot in my mouth. Because, well, yes, I definitely know they're into different things. What those things are that guys are interested in and what those things are that girls are interested in, they still are looking for the pinnacle of those things. So it is what it is. And what those things are, I leave to chat's imagination. I'm not going to say anything. It is what it is. Ah. Okay, chat. So real quick here, I got this haul. Let's see if I have a better screen for this. That hasn't been resized. Hold on, chat. I gotta doctor this. Can we zoom in more? That's easier. I'm like sitting here trying to do this in a way that, like, well, behold, chat boxes. But chat hasn't seen me with the top down in a while. So I got. Let me try not to dox myself here. Yeah. Okay. I got a nice sizable box from the Anime NYC crew. And I am told that there are certain things in here I can't show on stream. So I am going to have to be careful with this. Also, I cannot... All right, hold on. I'm trying not to dox myself here because my address is obviously on this. Hate box time? Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. I taped the fuck out of that? No, that's fine. Ugh. Why you no scribble it out? Because I don't trust the internet not to figure that out. My god. Oh, dude, I shouldn't have worked out. I can't, like, rip this box. My muscles are ripping instead. Now I know you live in Florida. Oh my god. Who could have ever known that? Okay. Now there should be no identifying marker on the box. God damn it, there is still one identifying mark. Okay. I will face it to the back so that way nobody can accidentally see it. So, chat, we're going to play a game where I apparently have to guess who sent what. And, did we get a final tally of, like, who all sent something? I think it was Prophet, Creamy, Mega, Tutu, Ash, Darty. Who else am I forgetting? Andre. Maestro. Okay. So first up, we have D&T. I assume... Oh my god, is this a T infuser? Oh. +1 charisma. Open it? Yeah, I will. Let me try not to butcher the box. Oh god. I hate when these boxes do this, where it's like it's got the little wings right here, because inevitably if you try to pull it out, it's just gonna tear. Let me try to get my finger in. Ah. I don't have nails. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the Ranger, which fits our D&D game because my main character is a Ranger, although I have many issues with that class. Oh, this is nice. So one of you guys got me this. Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, get everything out and then guess, because there's just no way I can immediately, like, guess based off of everything. Like, I'm gonna have to single it out. Okay, I also have a small bean. A small bean Artoria. I'm gonna tell to the anyway until the end anyway, so that works. Yes. Perfect. It's actually got like a little keychain on it. This actually fits some of my larger plushies. So basically, she can hold the bean. Well, kind of. She kind of has to balance on it, but it is what it is. But yes, very, very small bean. Wants to eat your, eat all of your burger. Okay. And then, oh, there's another small bean. Sir, 69 on stream. What? What? Holy macaroni. What? The plushies? Oh. Bro, you made me think that I, like, actually did something in SFW. So, then we also have an MHX bean. Uh-oh. Me thinks some things came out. Oh. Some things definitely came out. So, Misty Mountain Gaming. I can probably guess who bought this one. But, unfortunately, I have only received 3 of the die. Because I see this, and there was one loose in the box. So, they're probably all in here. I just gotta keep looking. But it is kind of funny. But yeah, they actually look really nice. They're basically... Let me see if I can get them closer for chat. They actually kind of sparkle. A little bit of, like, fluorescence to it. It's gold. Yeah, Caltrop, you're not wrong. If I were to step on this, my foot would just, like, absolutely... I would go to the hospital. Like, no doubt about it. Okay, yeah, here are at least 3 of the others. Let me try to put them in here. Okay, so the circle goes in the square hole. And the triangle goes in the square hole. And the octagon goes in the square hole. Okay. And then they also got me some broken styrofoam. Pretty sure that was just Creamy trying to insulate this. Hate styrofoam. It's impossible to get rid of. Okay. And then... let's see here. So... looks like these are acrylic stands / keychains? Oh, so we got wife from basically the Camelot movie. And we got wife from the new recent anniversary artwork. Which I'm surprised you guys were able to find this one. In fact, it is in Japanese on the back. So this is, I believe, official merch. And then it looks like we also have an Umu. We did a bit of looking. I can see that. Okay. And then I suspect this is the part I cannot show. So hold on. Yup. That was a good guess. There's another Caltrop. Oh, Fox is gonna kill me. Okay, hold on, chat. So, and try to separate them. We have, and these are the arcade cards. Oh, trying not to take them out because they're nice inside the bag right now. So they're actually the, again, arcade cards. So that's MHXA. And Mixa. Kill you or hire a bootleg barcast to stare at you? Well, I have my own bootleg barcast now. And it's both a keychain and an acrylic stand, because there is a stand in here for it. Are those cards sold in packs like other TCGs? No. No, as far as I know, you usually have to, like, find somebody that's selling them that actually went to Japan to get them. Because it literally prints from the machine itself. Okay, and then... I can't tell if this is one or if this is, like... separate, but I'm going to take it out of its sleeve. So I think this is 2. Oh. So... it's actually holographic, chat, if you can see it. And then, as well on the back end. This one is not holographic, though. It's just normal. The image changes, rotated at all angles. Well, yeah, I mean, I see that, but it's kind of hard. Like, I don't think I could do that for chat. Like, I can try, right? But, like... and then... I assume that's Albert's signature. And I assume that is Albert and Lauren, was it? From Aniplex of America? It is? Both? Nice. Yeah, we'll have to keep these in their sleeve for now. Till I find a better situation for them. Okay, so that was the sum total minus one thing. Nope, I can't even show the back of it off. There is there is one other thing here that, like, this is like literally all I can let chat see of it. It appears to be a Dojin. Just based off what I'm seeing. Very nice. So now I have all of the items. Basically, I have the beans, the dice, the cards, the acrylics, the Barcast acrylic. Do me a favor, Prophet. Was there anything that, like, somebody bought tandem? Or were they all the same? Like was everything individual and different? Like, for instance, with the sleeve here and the two posters that both got signed, were they from the same person? Or no, those two are different. Okay, so I guess, like, you guys need to give me the item and I'll try to, like, pick. Don't forget the styrofoam. Yeah, well, Creamy gave me the styrofoam. Like, I can start with the die. So was the Barcast plushie? Well, you said plushie, but it was an acrylic, right? So was this just one person, or did that person have anything else in here? Sorry, I'm just waiting for a response. That person had other stuff as well. Okay. All right, so y'all gotta give me an item. I guess you gotta tell me what the item groupings are. And then I can guess. But, like, posters, wall art, Invisible Air, and Excalibur. I was told that these are two different people. Like, okay, let me just do this by process of elimination. This is definitely Darty. I think we all know it's Darty. And anybody saying it's not Darty would be ashamed. This, the die set, I'm going with Prophet. Because if it's not Prophet, I really wonder what the heck is going on. The Dojin is Tutu. Though, to be fair, I kind of knew that one. Plus, Tutu knows my taste, so. So then from there, we have the cards, the acrylics, the posters, and the beans. So were the beans all one person, or were the beans separate? I like how MHX's eyes are glowing. Like, she sees the saber. Separate. Okay. She has the fire burning within. Yeah. Yeah, guessing individual items like this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Oh, and the sorry, I almost forgot it. The the D&T. I want to say this is also Profit. I want to say this is also Profit. And Profit got me both of these. Because of that group, Profit is probably the only one that's like actually D&D minded. But I still am stuck with the acrylics and the posters. One of the posters is definitely Maestro. Well, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Because no, all of the acrylics are Maestro. And I'm going to explain why. Maestro went to Anniversary. And chat, all of this on the back side is in Japanese, which means this came from Japan. Unless they were actually selling it at Anime NYC, of which I sincerely doubt due to the guerrilla-like nature that Aniplex was over there. So this is pretty obvious that that's from that. Plus, I'm going to go one further, and I'm going to say Maestro got this at the Wada Arco Museum, specifically. Now, the cards definitely came from Japan. All right, hold on, chat. Hold on. There's something else suspicious here. Because I have several other cards. And these two don't match. Well, sorry. They specifically do not overlap with the cards that Maestro already gave me. The thing is, I also assume that people could be selling these at Anime Expo. So in that regard, Maestro was probably there and advised you guys what ones I didn't have, and one of you guys purchased them. That's my current logic. I may be completely off base here, but this is my current logic for this. So and I know that the posters were two separate people. Think real hard. I think these are Ash. I think these are Ash. I think one of the posters is Mega. Ooh, wait, but I have the beans too. The cards are separate people, by the way. Okay, then one of the cards is Ash. Wait, who else? Still need to do Andre. So it's Andre, Mega, and Creamy. Okay, no, never mind. I'm going to take this back. I'm going to say one of the posters is Creamy. The other poster is Andre. And the plushies are Mega. MHXA is Ash. And Mixes Darty. All right. Those are my guesses. Yeah. Final answer. How right or wrong was I? Beans left no. Beans were my guess for Mega. You have gotten one answer partially right. The rest are wrong. I fault the system at this point. I fault the system. There is no way around this. The Laltor came from the 10th Annie Goods line, and the Nero came from the Wada Arco exhibit that just happened in Ginza. I didn't do the Camelot Lartoria, though. Oh, okay. So you didn't do all three of them. Okay, so these two did come, but this one... Okay, yeah, to be fair, I should have been smarter about this, because this is from the Camelot movie, which has been out for a while, so they would be selling this. So, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Damn. Okay. You got 2/3 of the acrylics, right? Yeah. That I figured. So wait, were you not the dice? Like now you got to tell me who was who. Since I've made my best guess. Dice was Andre. Okay, surprising. I thought with Prophet, so you can't blame me for guessing Prophet. That man is a fucking dice fiend. He literally all he does is buy dice. Barghest Artoria Bean is Tutu. Really? Surprising. Darty, what the hell? Dojin and Tea Infuser was me. Really? You were probably my next guess for the Tea Infuser. The Dojin, I'm surprised. And the reason I'm surprised is because Tutu sent me a picture of that exact Dojin. Rigged. Hey, listen. Misdirection, clearly. Classic blunder. Other Bean and MHX card was dirty. Which MHX? MHXA or Mixa? I was the Invisible Air Unleashed Excalibur Mirage. So you're the holographic one. Nice. MHXA. Damn, so I had that backward. Okay. Yeah. Here I thought I knew my friends. No, I'm the hollow one. Wait. So this one's Ash. Gotcha. I got the Mixa card. Damn. I got the signed one with both signatures. Nice. I also got you the third acrylic. Okay. I was going to say. So I figured like one of you then had to have gotten this since Maestro basically explained that. So wait, then who got me the Lartoria bean? Tutu. So Tutu's just the Lartoria bean. Oh, that and the Barkas. Wait, then who got me the MHX bean? That stares into your soul with her black eyes. Darty, okay. I'm so confused. More like burning eyes. Yeah, I don't know why, like, specifically hers do this and Lartoria's don't, because they are the exact same color. I guess Lartoria's is kind of doing it. Yeah, there you go. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. You did not have to. This is more than I expected you guys to get. And now I got a dice set. So now I can... Well, I don't know if I can do a dice camp. I have to think about how to do that. Darty fueled it with his cultural essence, I see. And it glows in the presence of sabers. That it definitely does. I cannot believe Darty didn't get the Barcast. That's why I'm so surprised. I feel like you guys planned this now. Like you were like, oh, we should get him that. And it's like, no, but you buy it. I didn't see that one. I would have gotten it for me. That's why I'm like, what the heck, dude? The Tutu stuff wasn't planned. No, it's fine. It was all impromptu. But still, it looks amazing. I again cannot extol your virtues enough. Thank you guys. Let me put it all back in here for now, as I'm gonna, like I said, have to find something to do with it. Oh, the MHXA came out somehow. Wait, how did that come out? I never unsealed the bag. Oh, there you go. The bag unsealed itself. But see, that's why I figured, was because Maestro brought me these. So, like, I was like, they're conspicuously not the same cards. So I figured Maestro had to have advised on the cards. I got carded buying the Dojin, by the way. Really? Like, you do not look young. Like you don't look old, but you don't look young. Like, wait, did you, were you shaved at Anime NYC, or did you have the beard? You had a beard, didn't you? Like, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I forgot about this. Kind of hard to see, chat, but it's Noah. I gotta complete my collection of Ishida's lifelike loves. They might card everyone as policy. Yeah, I mean, they probably do, right? Like, it may be a requirement of the venue. And it's like, hey, you don't want to, like, lose your stuff. Okay, I gotta get that in there without it showing up on camera. Okay. Ha! There you go, chat. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't know why that is the way that is. Keep that box for the tea container. Oh, I did. I basically, that's why I said, like, I didn't want to destroy it. I just wanted to open it, right? It has special cleaning instructions. Perfect. Oh, I don't know why that froze when I did that, but it is what it is. But again, thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. Also, wait, hold on. Was there nothing? Okay, yeah. I had the bag right there, and I was like, wait, was there something in that I didn't see? But no. It was from the tea place that was at Too Many Games this year. Oh, so you've been holding on to that one. Interesting. I can think of somebody else that's gonna like that, so that's gonna be really, really interesting. So, Creamy, you might have done me a solid in that regard. I got it at NYC. Oh, really? So what, was it just the same tea place that was at both? Okay, gotcha. Wait. I feel like there's something I'm missing. No. A Doja was the first in the stack, and as soon as I pulled it, I knew. Ah, nice. Did you at least like were you able to peruse the Dojin at all? The posters and finding a sleeve or hanging them. The posters I'm gonna have to like think about for what to do. Like, that is my problem, is I have several other items from like Maestro, and like I actually have like one or two items from other people as well. But like they're kind of just sitting around right now because I don't know what I want to do with the room as a whole. Like, I mean, chat, you've seen the room, right? Like, so it's like I have plenty of stuff, but I think I need to like get rid of some of my sound panel padding and like hang things, and like you're not going to be able to see them, but I will be, and that's all that matters. Need some nice display cases. I mean, I have one for the Lartoria statue, but the rest are kind of sitting out. So yeah, I probably need to like buy myself a nice shelf or something. Behold his stuff. Oh, yeah, I mean, chat. There are so many things like you don't see that aren't on the stream, and they're not behind me. And they are basically just sitting here next to a lot of things. That like you guys don't regularly get to see on stream. And actually I have 3 statues in my room that you never get to see. Well, hold on. Let me go grab them real fast. Okay, here's 2 of them, chat. Let me go get the third. Okay. Chad, I don't know if you can tell how big this statue is. Actually. So, I have a Garage Kit bunny. I purchased this one a long time ago and it took a long time to fulfill. And in that time, I actually ended up purchasing the other one. But I don't know if you can tell, chat. Look at the size difference. This one, she a big bitch. And I don't know if you guys remember when she opened this, but she actually has fishnets. Like actual fishnets. Not like, oh, it's painted on. Like... So, like, this one is the biggest statue I have. It's technically bigger than the Lartoria statue. And then, gotta be careful with this one. A lot of moving parts. I have this one. So basically, Ascension 2 bunny. 1/8 scale? No, this... I think that's like 1/6 or something. That one's big. This one is actually big. Holy, that one's even nicer. Yeah, you guys don't normally get to see these because these are normally in my room. So like, and the whole reason they are is just because like, I don't have room. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's Lartoria back there. And then Maid Altar right there. And then basically my decanter with my scotch and several other like plushies and Figmas and stuff. And Ichiban Kujis. Oh! But yes, I have a lot. Need verticality? Yeah, I mean, like I said, she is like 2 feet tall. Like she is large. That's what I'm saying. Like she is basically like 1/6, 1/5 size. I don't know. I don't know what you would refer to her as. Break out the tape measure? Bet. Yeah, you're not a man if you don't always have a tape measure handy. Yeah, she is 19 inches tall. Like, Jesus. Wonder if one of those IKEA display cases would fit her. I'd probably have to remove one of the shells to do it. But yeah, she is large, so. And I have no problem with large women. What if you've misplaced said tape measure? You better find it. That's all I can say. Okay. Chad, I'm just going to play here because otherwise you got to wait on me to take all this back. Sorry, I had to put that back. That's why you have multiple tape measures? Yes, I actually do have multiple tape measures. I don't know where my other one is. So you're not wrong. 6-foot folding stick ruler. Oh my god, it's been forever since I've seen one of those. Okay, chat. So I made some improvements to LD Player. It should run a little faster. I don't know if chat can tell. It's definitely running faster. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to continue on with Camelot here. I only got 4 other people to buy dice during Anime NYC. I was only trying to get Bob to buy dice. Wait, how are you trying to get Bob to buy dice when Bob wasn't there? Like, hold on. Actually, what was the name of this one? The Desert of Atlas, and it's a saber. This is probably Lancelot. What was Lancelot's gimmick, chat? He had some screwy one. He's a ruler. Was that it? Okay. And then Berserker should work against him. So we will flippity flop. Can I fit this? Go with that. There we go. I tried DLing LD Player, keeps getting stuck on startup. Could you or chat help me remedy this somehow? Avalon's the best person to talk to about LD Player because he helped me get things nice, but we could never get it running properly without it hitching. And the changes that I made were that I just basically upped the amount of cores that this thing could use and so on. And it's definitely helping it run smoother. But with regards to like getting it to even install, that's definitely an interesting one. Oh shit. I didn't take plug suit. So this will be an interesting one now. I'm doing pretty good, Coyote. How are you? But like, what part are you getting stuck on, Mayo? Like, are you able to download it, but it's not doing anything? Or like, are you getting stuck trying to load FGO? May sound counterintuitive, but try reducing the course to 2. I increased it to 6, and it's really helping. So I'm not gonna look the gift horse in the mouth. That is not a full 50. Still pop it. And we'll do it like that. Not an install problem, just get stuck at 94% on the startup. That is odd. I couldn't tell you unless like it's maybe like being blocked somehow. Like I don't know if it's trying to like initialize and do something on the like internet and it's like not able to get through your ports or something, but I honest to God could not tell you. Hey, what's up, Scarlet? They went to the website, they were out of stock on everything. That's wild. I mean, to be fair though, I guess I kind of understand it because on one hand, they probably have to like take supply to the con with them. But on the other hand, like it could probably be problematic for how do I put it? Like demand if they have people that are obviously checking them out at the con and telling other people about that. It probably like if you have a good product and it sells well, it probably just like massively jumps things. Okay, so just to clarify here again, yes, he is same defensive affinity as a ruler. Rulers are an extra class that basically they basically make everybody take half damage. Or sorry, make everybody attacking them deal half damage is the better way to put it. So the way to get through a ruler is either take an Avenger, who is also the extra class that is their counter, or try to go with someone like a Berserker who will still deal effective damage. So that's what we've kind of done here. Unfortunately, I did not take the right Mystic code, so I'm having at least a little bit of issue on that front. Actually, we'll go with the Mighty Chain. Try to give as much charge to Casteria Berserker as possible. Apparently 94% thing is common. A bunch of suggestions from Google. All right, hold on, chat. I need somewhere better to pose this. Every part of my room is a wreck. There we go. Wait, where did it go? Okay, sorry about that. Let's continue on. And let's see. So, honestly, at this point, when you get something like this, you just go with the Mighty Chain. Now, I have the 100% arts card. This would actually help her get to her Noble Phantasm. I could also potentially, like, slot in her Noble Phantasm here, but I think we just play this one safe because we're relatively close to killing him. And so we literally just kind of let this one ride. Now, a Buster card will do more if it crits than the arts card, but the arts card is guaranteed. I think at this point, you basically just run it like that, where you put your least damaging card first, you put your second most damaging second, and hopefully the Buster crits, and it did not. So then in this case, I chose wrong. But that sometimes you just kind of got to go with the flow and hope it works out. Okay, now we have our Noble Phantasm. Still not really taking much damage here, but I don't really have any buffs to give either. So at this point, we're probably just going to go ahead and pop both Noble Phantasms. Should help out on the refund a little bit, and we'll actually get a little bit of overcharge for Castoria Berserker's NP. Which I don't remember if Lancelot is chaotic. He's certainly not divine. But he shouldn't be chaotic because he is a Knight of the Round. Now, I say that, there is one exception to that, and that's Mordred. Mordred is absolutely chaotic as a Knight of the Round. There we go, and that's just enough. And I did all of that actually without any major steroid being active because all of them were on cooldown. So if I had played this one better, I could have maybe done, you know, a little bit more of a solid job there. Maybe take out the front wave with like a rash or something like that. But this is just one of those things that happens if you're not using a guide. Sometimes you'll have to kind of go in blind. And for all intents and purposes, I intend to basically go through blind, at least through all of part 1, because it's really not too difficult, assuming you know what you're doing. Lawful good? Yep. Pretty much what I expected. Getting distracted. She's asking questions about the T diffuser chat. Okay. So next up here, it looks like this one's probably just going to be a generic fight. Could be maybe some sphinxes or something like that, because we do have the caster in there, and that has a tendency to be what that is. So we'll probably just run a nice rider in this comp just to be on the safe side. I'm not really seeing anybody that actually has an appropriate stuff. Have you seen there's an FGO style Wordle game? Yeah, that's meh. Kind of looking through here. Let me see. No append skill there. So this is actually Odysseus. Odysseus can be really nice, but he is a 30% charging unit. So without the starting mana loading append maxed out with a 50% C, he's not going to get to full. Honestly, Habitrot here is probably just our go-to. So Habitrot's actually a welfare unit, and you will gain access to her after you complete Lost Belt 6. That's not early in the game, so that is the downside in that regard, but for the most part, you should be fine. It just, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and keep Castoria Berserker on the back line just in case this goes south. But basically, all you really need to understand about her is that she is a very good arts looping AoE writer. She has 80% charge in her kit, which combined with a max level mana loading, which this one has, means that you can basically sit there and say, okay, I've got a max rank charge skill, I've got a max rank mana loading, that's 20%, that's 80%, that's going to be 100, and then that's going to allow me to actually get the full charge that I need. Her third skill also can kill herself a turn after you use it. So basically, if you put it on, she'll still go through the paces of her turn, but then at the end of the turn, she'll die. So this could actually be a really effective tool for party rotation. And you can expect that if I end up with a really high health boss enemy at the end, that's exactly what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and heal herself just because she lost some HP. But honestly, actually, she kind of gained it, but regardless, we're just going to go ahead and send this one, and we should be fine. Actually, I am going to go ahead and do like that. Basically, just get Lady Avalon a little bit more charge here, just to help her out in the hopes of getting her to her NP. Lady Avalon's NP, as we've mentioned before, does have the capacity to sit there and, how should I put it? Like, give you stars per turn, give you charge per turn. So it's really, really nice to keep utilizing throughout the span of fights if you don't have an effective 3-turn. She is a sustain support. That is her primary objective, is healing and kind of letting you get back to another Noble Phantasm. So this makes her really, really nice down the stretch of fights. So particularly in a scenario where I know I'm just not going to have enough, she makes a whole lot of sense. We actually have exactly 49%. That'll work perfectly because her skill basically gives a flat 20%. So now we're at 69. Waver skill automatically will give me 30% charge. So it's just going to round up and we're going to get 100% off of that. Problem is we're not going to have any charge basically for the next wave. So one of the things I could do is I could either invuln here to get herself charge and then do that. I could also use one of the Mystic Code abilities to do that, but those can also be used on Habitrot. So instead, I'm just going to play for time, basically, since all of my steroids are going to wear off on the next turn anyways. And I'm just going to basically take the triple arch chain here to give her the charge that she needs. And then with this, there we go. We easily handle the wave. You can see she's doing good damage. She has an MLB Black Grail, which is the game's best sort of damage craft essence that you can have if you're going to fire off a Noble Phantasm. So it's a very, very strong one. I didn't see if it was maxed out all the way, but odds are it was, because most players know enough to know to max that one in particular. And then here we go. It is, in fact, a Sphinx. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize the Star Soaking one. I could do this for the crit damage, but I think it's maybe, well, I'm not likely to get down to this in a hurry, so I think we'll go ahead and do it just for the extra crit damage here. And basically, I'm going to take the Arch Chain. I think we'll do Lady Avalon's Noble Phantasm just for the increased charge, because I'm going to need to be getting back to as many Noble Phantasms as possible here, because one Noble Phantasm is probably not going to be enough. There we go. We get a little bit more max HP on the front end. And that's one of the ways that Lady Avalon's different from Merlin. Merlin heals per turn. Lady Avalon gives you max HP up right at the beginning. So you just get all of the healing potential right away. That might sound better to you in some cases, and in some cases it is. In other cases, it's not. It really just depends on what you're doing and what you're facing. So we're going to go ahead and utilize a Brave Chain here. Try to get a little bit of damage as well as refund. Because the 20% charge from a triple arch chain there would have been wasted. Would have just contributed to the current charge of the current turn. And there we go. We're actually going to get really close to killing. So altogether, not too bad. This will end up being a 5-turn, assuming I get even one Habitrot card. If I get all Lady Avalon cards, we're toast. But there we go. Got one Habitrot card. And waiver crits should do the job on their own, pretty much. And here we go. Just enough. Avalon needs a buff. Oh, she's fine. But there we go. So that's an easy breakdown. And like you can see, I kind of just stumble through some of these. I don't necessarily 3-turn them all the time because I'm not like deviating too much in my composition, because I have a composition that is consistent and it works. Even if it's not one that necessarily is the best, I could custom tailor it to each one. If you're following a guide, that's much easier to do. But because I'm kind of going in blind, I'm just kind of picking the option that will result in the least turmoil for me. Okay, now we got a hole. Now, this is archers, and I didn't see what the other class was. There we go. Caster. So, I'm trying to remember what's down here. This is basically the Atlas Academy portion. Probably, when in doubt, when you got mixed classes like this, in general, still a good idea to keep running a Berserker. I've been using a lot of Ibuki Doji Berserker. She's very strong. She has 50% charge. She's art, so she can loop. Art's characters have a tendency to have really good refund on them, as opposed to someone like Buster that has no refund, or Quick that maybe have like kind of middling refund. So it just works out both each way. All right, so it's a 1 out of 3. I usually just start out by going ahead and doing at least Ibuki's first 2 skills. This skill does reduce skill cooldowns for whoever you put it on, so by utilizing it right off the rip, I'm not getting the skill cooldown reduction on her 3rd skill, but it is what it is. She had 100% starting charge due to an MLB K-scope that she had on herself, so that's just one of those where you just go ahead and resign yourself to your fate and say, like, oh, I'm just not going to get the cooldown reduction on that. So I'll probably only get 1 use of this. There you go. She refunds 59%. So I could go ahead and pop her skill there, but it's actually smarter of me to do it like this. Get a little bit of extra firepower and only use 40% of waiver charge. So I still have basically 10% here, 20% here, and 50% here. I'm up against 3 enemies. I'm going to easily refund more than the amount that I would need. So this does set me up very well for a potential, like, potential turn 3. So this is how a lot of the looping goes for me. It becomes pretty easy down the stretch if you do certain things like this, but it definitely depends on health values. There's a lot of factors that go into NP gain and how much refund that you get on the back end of a Noble Phantasm. So for instance, we got 50% there. Ibuki's not necessarily somebody that's known for her, how should I put it, like, actual refund capability, and that's one of the reasons that she has charge. You will see some arts units can refund 80% or even higher. Other arts units are a little bit more like Ibuki, where they're designed to get back to maybe like 50% and then have their charge supplemented. So it works out either way for me in this case, because we had enough refund regardless, and a lot of the early enemies were low enough health that we were able to get a ton from it. Extra one has mash, who destroys it the second turn if they don't manage turn one. Yeah. You do whatever. Like, the extra battles are just kind of... I feel like they at least kept things pretty open in regards to that. Like, it's very capable to be completed by a lot of people. So this is an archer. So this is probably Tristan, if I had to bet, but maybe not. I don't... actually, no, I don't think you fight Tristan here. I think this is just legitimately archer enemies. So in that regard, it's probably a good idea for my Lancer, if I can. We'll go ahead and switch her out. Switch for our other pretender, aka Oberon, who is also a support. And he should be able to do some solid work for us. I will also switch which Mystic Code I'm using. I actually like using mages here because this particular composition, due to Oberon not having any levels, because I just really am trying to get access to basically Seeds of Yggdrasil. Sorry, just normal seeds. But like, it's actually a little bit of a problem for both him and Proto-Merlin because they both take seeds for their opening level. So because of that, if I am in a Buster comp, taking something like Mages works out really well for me because I get 20% charge. Plus, I can card shuffle for better cards should the need arise. Okay. So we're 1 out of 3. I actually think because I have 50% charge here, I have basically 50 from Oberon himself, and I have 50 plus every time she NP, she'll refund 20%, plus the 20% she starts with. So that's, she basically has like 90% charge with regards to that. So we've got 50 here, 90 here, and 50 here. This means I have about 190% charge, but that's not enough. With this, that's basically 210. That'd be enough for 2 waves. Not quite enough for 3. So what that means is that I'm just going to instead try to card the opening wave here. It will probably result in a 2-turn, and it will. But ultimately, we narrowed it already down to 1 unit. So as long as I get some Oberon or Lartoria cards here, I should be fine. Now, if you wonder why I call her Lartoria when the name at the bottom says Altria, this is another interesting thing. Basically, Artoria, as she is known, is it is the like just normal form of her name. That is how a lot of people have translated it for years and years and years. But for whatever reason, whenever they got to FGO, they decided that Artoria's name would be translated into English as Altria. It technically had been something that they had been doing before FGO, but there had been so few actual English translations of Fate products, at least official English translations, that, you know, the community had decided to call her Artoria long before that point. And really, the only reason she is called this is that Nasu's insistence, which is a particularly interesting point, because it does result in some confusion amongst the player base. You have people that are always like, wait, what do you mean that's her name? And then you also end up having a lot of people who basically, how should I put this, like, just insist on calling her the new one. Now, you know, you might be thinking like, oh, it's not a big deal. And to a degree, it's not. But also at the same time, you'll find a lot of people, myself included, are just pretty diehard. We always refer to her as Artoria because it's just kind of always been that way to us. And it is the actual proper translation of the kanji from her name back to English. It's also, frankly speaking, a much more like common and logical name, in the sense that Artoria is actually the proper translation and like into English of Artorius if you were to feminize it. It also is a translation of the original version of Artorius and its family name coming all the way from Latin, where it was known as the Artorii, the family name of anybody with that. So Artorii, Artorius, Artoria, that makes sense. Altria makes zero sense. I don't know what he's thinking, and we've never really understood why he specifically insists on that translation of the name. It doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't work either with Arthur's translation. So it's like, it's kind of weird to translate a Latin name into English, into Japanese, back to English, and then you're playing a massive game of telephone and changing the name. And it's one of the only names we really have that issue with, though it is not the only one. Okay, so we actually ended up with way more charge because of this. So we can actually just get the job done here. And as we predicted, it is just a bunch of archer enemies. At least Extella gets it right. Extella is one of the few that does get it right because Extella was handled by a third party. So it's definitely an interesting thing to see. But it has been a widely debated community topic over the years. But in general, the general consensus is it's Artoria, and we never really understand why people do it. But one of the fastest ways you can out yourself as an FGO only player or as somebody that's new to the IP is if you refer to her as Altria. So it's one of the ways that we just kind of immediately know it's like, there's the newbie. So do yourself a favor, call her Artoria. It'll help you out. Old official subs for Dean Stay Night and Fate Zero use Arturia. Yeah, I've seen Arturia. I've seen Arthuria as well. And I feel like at least between Arturia, and Arthuria, I really don't have an issue. All three of those are pretty similar. They etymologically make sense versus Altria, which makes zero sense. I honest to God do not know how he arrived at the name. It doesn't work. I've seen people say it's the whole L to R thing from Japanese, and I'm like, still doesn't make sense because the origin of the name uses an R in the first place in English. So I really could not tell you why Nasu decided on what he decided on. But he's been pretty adamant on that. And I will honestly say that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Basically, the communities always win in the end over their creators. So because who ends up having to take care of the IP in the end is the community. So in that regard, he can definitely insist. He can definitely say, I'm the creator. It has to be this way. But basically, the community is going to end up referring to her however we damn well please. So 8 enemies remaining. This one's an interesting one. I feel like this might be better to just go ahead and kind of try to 3-turn it and see what we can make do with. Yep, there you go. The bot also shoots people that say it. Though, some people think that that's because I get, like, triggered by the name. I joke that I get triggered by it, but honest to God, like, I really don't. I know who you're referring to. I kind of roll my eyes at it, and it just is what it is. But the whole reason the bot actually shoots people that say the name is because it was one of my mods' ideas. They were like, oh, why don't we just set it up like that and watch how many people get shot? And it has been a kind of like running gag for a while now at this point. Okay, so I actually can get 20%. I probably should have used, well, no, it didn't matter. So go ahead and send it. We'll have 2 more enemies left. Sorry, Chad, hold on. Okay. Ignoring the creator will continue until localization improves, pretty much. And like, I don't think it's even like on the localizers. I think the localizers are basically getting forced to do it, right? So it just is what it is. So I do have a Buster card. I have 2 cards from Oberon. Probably not the best scenario here. I reshuffle. I get 2 Lartoria cards. I could definitely do something like this. I could also just go ahead and pop that. I could use Oberon's Buster up on her. It would definitely probably make the Buster kill. But then that would brick the unit for in the next turn. And that I definitely don't want to do. We'll go ahead and use her. She'll still kill that one. And Oberon gets that. And, well, that's the power of a 120 Lartoria. Can still just card my way right through it, even with the quick card. Altari is the name of a very old Pokemon, so my brain autocorrects the cursed word into that. Jesus. So I could take another Lancer here, but again, when you got mixed classes like this, it just works best to take a Berserker. So let's see. We got Penguin again. That one will work. We'll go ahead and switch back to Proto Merlin. You can see she's already bond 6 with us. I haven't even leveled her skills. I've gotten her leveled up at least to 90, but I haven't even managed to level her skills. We'll switch back to the Arts Mystic code because it also has 20% charge. My beloved bird that somehow knew earthquake. Yeah, that's kind of odd. I fly, but I can cause an earthquake. Must be a big bird. Pokemon in question is also a dragon type, so it fit. Yep. Alright, so this is just a single enemy. I would not get very much refund off of it, and I actually have a full Brave chain for Proto Merlin, so we're just sending this one. And she will get at least some decent arts off of this. Get some nice and P-Gang, get up to 60. There you go, 71%. Plus her passive gives her 5% per turn. She's already at 76%. That is definitely not bad. And we are on wave 2 out of 3, so we just go ahead, pop our major steroids there, and send this one. Hey, what's up, Cody? How's it going? Return from your trip to Ohio, was it that bad? I've heard there's something about Ohio that makes people want to go to space, so. So we've got 242k. That's definitely a lot. We're going to go ahead and send it because just buff duration, if nothing else. We'll basically go ahead and use her attack up, use his 30% charge, and we'll spare the 60% there. There's only 7 stars here, so not really worth, because I basically could go back and actually soak the stars on her, but it's really not going to be that big of a deal. The odds of it critting are still not 100% at that point. So basically just send it and hope you get a arts card on a later wave. But we're probably not going to need it anyways. There we go. Managed to easily mop it up with just the NP and the Buster card. And this is the level 100 Ibuki Doji, so a little bit stronger than normal. I believe she's also in P2, but only using a K-Scope. And K-Scope, while it definitely helps facilitate looping, is not necessarily known for increasing damage output too much. If it is max limit broken and it is leveled all the way up to 100, it does at least have 2,000 extra attack on it. That's something to at least be cognizant of. It can actually help you out quite a bit, but it's not going to be as good as like a 2,000 attack C that's all the way leveled up that has maybe like arts up on it or something, or NP damage up on it, because that's going to add even more to it. This is a Saber. I don't remember if this is Lancelot again. It might be, so I think it's probably a good idea to play it safe on this one. And this time I will not make the same mistake that I made last time. Gonna go ahead, switch in Arash here. That's not the right Arash. That's the right Arash. Okay, there we go. I did manage... Arash is actually the first character I have a rank 10 skill on. So he definitely is helping me out a little bit there. So because of that, any 50% CE will do. Actually, I don't believe I have MLB Dragon's Meridian yet. The FP Gacha has not been kind with Dragon's Meridian copies, which is typical. That means I need a 40%, or sorry, a 4-star C. Go ahead and use Winter Crystal, just enough. So we'll let that do its thing. And we'll actually switch these around. So if you ever use Arash to kill, what happens is he dies and then the next sub member comes up. So I'd want that to be her, but I do still need to switch this to that. And that should give me the best chance. I'm also watching Grand Carnival. It's really good. Self-aware humor is top tier. Oh yeah. As a former resident, yes, Ohio's that bad. Up there with Florida. Hey, listen. I got a buddy that lives in Ohio, so that's how I know. My students in Indiana asked if I got offended by Ohio memes, and I told them I make fun of Ohio. It's okay. It's like me living in Florida making fun of Florida. It just is what it is. I don't take it too terribly seriously. Okay, so he is definitely going to do a thing here. We're going to go ahead and just pop the defensive buff and let Arash kill himself, because that is the best course of action here. Now, you don't want to select Arash cards like I'm doing here, and I'll show you why. Because basically, if you do that, Arash is going to kill himself, and you're not going to get access to any of his cards. So, there you go. That was the end of the turn. He uses NP, and even though he had all the remaining cards, he's dead, so he can't use them. Okay. Now I can at least go up against Lancelot with a full kit of steroids here. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. Whatever. We'll do that as well. Kind of overkill. I'm actually going to rotate Waver out. Going to bring in my other account's Castoria here. And also give the steroid for that. And then also do the attack up. Why? Because I pretty much have all of my steroids. I'm actually only missing the 20% attack up from Castoria OG there. And we're just going to do a Arts Brave chain here. So if you get 3 of a kind of the same card, the extra attack will do a little bit better. Definitely helps out. And you can see, still not enough to one-shot, but it's definitely doing solid work, and we still have even more. So we're going to go ahead, use the 30% charge up and the 20% attack up, and we are just going to send it again. Now, I'll go ahead and do this as a precaution because it's a smart idea for you to do just in case, but realistically speaking, I do not need this Noble Phantasm at all. I could just kind of go for the kill. How about you only use Stella once a day? I've only used it once a day. At least today. There we go. So easy way to deal with Lancelot there. Again, like I said, take a single target Berserker, crap on him. He can't do much. But the whole reason I took a rash was just in case the Enforcement Knights were there, and this time they were not. You can see it also gets tedious with just how much story there is. Ooh, there we go. Now we got 4-star mash. This does make her quite a bit better. As you can see, instead of just increasing defense to all allies, it now increases defense to all allies and has damage cut. So this makes her a lot tankier, basically, as a sort of supportive unit now. Next up, we got God King. Well, not yet. Probably Sphinxes here, and I don't remember if this is a boss fight or not. It is 5 AP, which is kind of suspect, but... Well, no, that's 5 AP with the reduction, so it's probably not an outright boss fight. Plus, it's not Lancelot because he's here as a support unit. So, using logic, we can kind of just go in here and assume that it's a good idea to pick another AoE Berserker. Gonna rotate her in. I'll leave a rash on the back line just in case, but you know what? We'll go ahead, we'll switch to her. But I do have to downscale the C. Because we are a little bit overbooked. Just enough. Go right back to the arts, Mystic Code. Mash to 10 for sure. Just put mash in. Oh yeah, I absolutely could. Just like, it's just one of those things where like I will level mash up. Mash is a very good unit to level up, but you actually don't have to level mash. I know that sounds like blasphemous to say, but like for instance, Avalon, one of my mods, has gotten all the way up to Lost Belt 4. Sorry, Ordeal Call 4 without leveling his mash. But apparently, because of the circumstances of Ordeal Call 4, he will actually finally have to level his mash. I know, I find it kind of absurd myself. But it is what it is. OC4 forces a mash solo, so you can't blue cube CS, yeah. Yep. And in a lot of other cases, you can get away with using like a support mash or like a so story support or a friend support mash. In this case, you cannot. So that's one of the ways he's managed to get around it. And it's kind of funny. I could do the star soaking here, but we really don't have any stars to speak of, so we'll just go ahead and put the evasion on, give her her charge. Unfortunately, we're up against assassins, and refund against assassins is not good. If you haven't already noticed it by now, different classes have different refund rates. I believe I've already mentioned it before at this point, but assassins are one of the worst. The only one worse than them is berserkers. So if you're, it's not that the class is bad with refund, it's that when you're hitting the enemy that is that class that you have bad refund against them. Like, just using an assassin doesn't necessarily mean they have bad refund, but like basically going up against that, you definitely will. Okay, so this is an interesting spread. I'm actually going to go ahead and use the resistant card because the only other alternative is like waivers. And instead, we're going to use this for a triple buster chain against Da Vinci. It's not the best of circumstances, but sometimes you just play the hand that you're dealt. You don't have a whole lot of good cards. It is what it is. Okay, so we do have Proto Merlin's Noble Phantasm. We're going to go ahead and utilize that and then go into a Mighty Chain with the Ibuki cards. Again, just hoping to get her as much refund as possible. Jill's screen card was so funny. Yeah. Punishing people that don't level their mash, I approve. No, I think, like, especially by Ordeal Call 4, that is perfectly fine for them to force it. Avalon was kind of bummed by it, but, like, let's be real, chat, right? Like, should you have your mash leveled by Ordeal Call 4? Yes. If you don't, that's on you. So it's like, nobody can really complain and be like, oh, they didn't give you enough time. They definitely did. And it's not like she's a hard one to level up. There we go. At least we're getting the weeklies done this way. We're also getting chains. Chains are really good because, as someone in chat was complaining earlier, chains could be a little bit annoying. They're a material that, especially early game, you probably need quite a bit of. They've been featured in a lot of lotto boxes over the years, but unfortunately, if you're not like aware of a lotto coming up that has it, it can be a little bit of an oof thing. Now this is probably Tristan. So because of that, I hate that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take a single target saber. I'll actually show off Okita here. Okita is a single target quick saber. I don't really have a whole lot to be able to like utilize for her, but it is what it is. Now this is spicy because logically this is tantamount to suicide. I should not be doing what I'm doing. So in order to protect myself, I'm going to take Plug Suit so that I can swap the party just in case I'm making a grievous error. But you can see it's like, oh hey, technically this is the bad draw, so I shouldn't do this. But if this is the case and I really shouldn't do this, I could at least swap out to Castoria Berserker. But like I said, I have a sneaking suspicion this is Tristan. And if it's not, it's not. And it's not. So there we go. I do know there is at least one more Tristan fight, although actually we fight him in Camelot. I don't remember if we fight him again before that point. I do believe that we do at least one more time, but I may be wrong on that. We're just going to kind of send this, let Castoria Berserker just kind of carve these up. Definitely, to a degree, maybe I should have just carded and not like tried to front load damage here, but this is just a get through it as fast as you can. By the time you're at OC4, it's a conscientious decision to ignore her. Oh, 100%. And in that case, it was, right? Okay, we do at least have 17 stars, but again, we are going to keep getting backfills here with successively more health, which is not ideal. Go ahead, do one of those. Charge her up as much as possible. I have at least gotten her skills somewhat leveled. And unfortunately, I don't have enough right now to do what I want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use Lady Avalon's Noble Phantasm. We're going to use her 2 arts cards there. Now, I'm doing it on the high health enemy so that I can get the most bang for my buck here, assuming I get at least 1 crit. But keep your eye on the back line, because the way things happen whenever there's a damage reset. So for instance, I actually don't kill. But if I had, maybe like, let's say the first card crit and I just killed it outright with that, the next card would just go straight into the Sea Fiend. What if I had a different card? It would default back to the first one, which means hitting the back row can be a little bit precarious. This is one where we're actually just going to kind of continue to card out because I have really good cards, and most of my steroids are going to kind of come off regardless. Now I've killed all of those. I have the really low health Sea Fiend here. He's not getting much done, so it's fine. And basically, I am going to continue to just sit here and target the highest health enemy I possibly can with the Noble Phantasm. They might be thinking, okay, but now next turn, that enemy is going to be ready to Noble Phantasm. It will. We're just going to kill it. It's a little bit about triaging this and just going for higher threat enemies. So this would be a potentially really good carding turn now, because whatever enemy comes in on the back end, you can see it's not like we're going to have a whole lot going on here. We'll actually just go ahead, utilize that, and mighty chain this. So we're going to basically get our Noble Phantasm off for Lady Avalon. This is going to give me at least a little bit of extra charge per turn. And then we're going to crit that and basically get... Actually, I don't think either crit, but we're just carding through those first 2 enemies. It just leaves the 1 Sea Fiend alive. And now we have the last one. So now if I can get to a Noble Phantasm, I can at least... kind of carve up the Gluttonous Sea Fiend. Now, I do have a full Brave chain here. And so with this, I'm going to put the arts card last just to put it in the 3rd slot. I could potentially put it first to get NP gain on all the rest of this. But I actually do low-key want a little bit of damage here to whittle the Sea Fiend down as much as humanly possible. Ever so slightly short. Still nothing we can do in that regard. We're going to let Waver set up the arts card here. And I'll actually go for damage instead of charge, because she'll probably get the charge that she needs due to Lady Avalon's NP. And she gets it outright anyways. So Sea Fiends are kind of nasty. They just keep stacking NP gain downs. That just means that you'll get less gain every single time you use their stuff, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead, pop Waver's Noble Phantasm first, and I'm going to ignore the Lady Avalon cards in favor of a Castoria Berserker card here. In theory, Lady Avalon's card would deal more, but I'm basically just hedging my bets and saying if I need to get back to another Noble Phantasm, that would be a really good idea. So remember, Waver's Noble Phantasm drains. So it did set him back 1 charge, so this will buy me another turn. And I also have another ace up my sleeve if this were to turn south. But it doesn't. He dies anyways. Because again, Waver's NP also does defense down. So that with the Mystic Code buff, it was still enough for even my NP1 Castoria Berserker to get the job done. My night's going well, Cal. How about yours? And there we go. All right, so now we're at the 3 out of 3 stage. We're definitely going to start fighting Ozzy, especially because we're at the Great Temple. But first, I believe we have a Sphinx and some guards. We'll still keep going with that. I will keep a more robust backline because Ozzy is a little bit interesting as a fight. He is going to have some potential issues if you're not like paying attention to the story, because Ozzy kind of pulls a fast one on you. So again, read story. That is my recommendation. There's a 1 out of 3 Roman guards. We'll just go for the loop. It's actually, we'll get really good refund on this opening wave because of its being so low health. The only downside is we literally got all of Ibuki's arts cards there turn 1. We're going to try to finish the JP event. Yeah, don't forget also do your extra raids on JP because there is a mission for that. And I believe the Storm Pod freebie goes off tonight. Okay, got enough refund there. Take the Mighty Chain because there's no Arch Chain to abuse. So you'll notice I do abuse a lot of Arch Chains just for free charge on these supports. That definitely helps set me up for later turns. It's not something you have to do. And technically, it makes the wave take a minuscule bit longer, but it is certainly worth it if you're worried about the longevity of a fight. So we have 387k Nitocris here. Definitely not what I was hoping for. I'll go ahead and give the dodge to her and then utilize that. And we're just going to kind of send this one. Man. Going to take the arts card, even though it's not effective for Proto Merlin, just to get the additional charge for her. That arts is cut in half, I see. Yes. Okay, so interesting. We get a full Brave Chain with Ibuki cards. So the best course of action at this point, especially since I'm still dodging, is to go with the full Brave Chain and basically give myself the maximum Mighty Chain possibility for NP gain. And we still didn't get a whole lot. It was better than nothing. Apparently she wants to beat up on waiver. That's fine. We are literally going to abuse this for some free and easy charge. And then I can basically stall out at least one more turn. Are you finding having late game units is altering the balance of Camelot much? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't really need to stall. She's only got 2k health. Just card it. Even with resistant cards, we'll be fine. But yeah, no, Camelot gets a lot easier nowadays compared to the way things used to be. Like 387k would have been a very imposing number back in the day. Nowadays, you can pretty quickly overcome it. So it's less of a like scary number. And again, that's not even the highest health we're going to face in Camelot. Actually, my most problematic fight is coming up here. I believe this is the Aussie pillar, chat. And I'm trying to remember because I feel like it's like riders or something do more damage to him. Or is it just cavalry in general? Hmm. I mean, I could use my maid altar, but she's got the QPC on. You know what? No. No. Let's go with this. This is a little bit more powerful. In terms of like buffing, it's technically not like my 120 MHX can do some solid stuff, but I want to kind of show you guys Kama. Kama can be a really like just hilariously good unit. Actually, I think I'll switch to plug suit. Should give me the stun. And let's go. I never found Camelot very hard when it first came out on an A. I don't believe you, Power. If you were around when it first came out, I don't believe you. Most people were not prepared for it. And you can see why. So 503k Amun-Ra. Okay, so again, I don't have a quick buffer to support her. She is actually a quick unit, but I should be able to make do regardless. Pretty much have our maximum damage effectiveness. I'm also going to give her the arts up. For one reason, because she lost health, but for another, because she also has an arts card currently. So we basically just get to mighty chain this. And this should do some solid work. It's an NP5 with an MLB Black Grail. Well, he's charmed at least, so he's not going to take an action even if he lives, and he's definitely not living. So that's one way to make it easy. Again, cavalry units work, so riders, casters, assassins, and to a degree berserkers should also work, but keep in mind, the thing that makes pillars a little bit nasty is because pillars have AoE attacks, so they will hit your entire party. Also, he's a question mark, so you don't necessarily know unless you know. So a lot of people go into that fight blind. A lot of people go like, oh crap. Especially if they didn't read the story and they didn't realize what was going on. Oz didn't get FGO until May 2018, if I remember correctly. What do you mean? Wait, is this it again? I don't remember having to fight him twice. Maybe it is with more gimmicks. Well, I'm gonna do it again. Pillars, you mean pancakes to be? True. Deep lore reference there. Abby likes to eat pancakes, and Abby basically threatens to turn the pillars into pancakes at one point. Yeah, we just do it again. Unfortunately, this time I don't have a mighty chain, so this will probably be a 2-turn. This time you'll actually get to see a little bit of pillar action. Still gonna do the plug suit attack buff because might as well. And I'll still do a mighty chain. It's just gonna be with a neutral unit instead. Oh, sorry, Medea Lily, not Abby. Thank you. That's my bad. I'm thinking of the Abby pancake song. Yes, the infinite pancake stack. Which makes, was it Floros at the time, Tremble? Yep, just gonna take the Brave Chain there. Don't have a Mighty, but it's fine. We'll card with the old method, which is just have a Buster lead and put your strongest card in the third slot, which is also a Buster in this case. And there we go. Down goes the pillar. Also made pillar pancakes. Remember Medea Lily's quest? Yep. That is what chat was referring to. It's been a hot second since anyone mentioned that. Like, it's kind of why I a little bit want the ability to, like, do a lot of, like, older content again. Like at least have the old, like, events and stuff available to people. Because I feel like there's so many, like, references to things that, like, newer players just won't get. And I think that's a travesty in all seriousness. So with split stats, I could definitely go with an alter ego since they're both cavalry, but, well, it's probably just going to be easier to find a berserker. But yeah, I feel like that's one of the things FGO really is lacking on compared to other gacha games. I do not know why they do it. It is just a problem, and they definitely need to do it better. Sorry, 19th of April 2019 was when FGO released in the Australian iOS App Store. Yeah, it's been a hot second. Okay, so we only have 2 enemies here on the front, and one of them is Ozzy himself. We're gonna go ahead and send it, though, just because we can. And actually, I'm gonna pre-card Ozzy here. Just get a little bit extra firepower. Or sorry, charge, not firepower. When you can get away with it, pre-carding for extra charge can be useful sometimes. It can also lower the health of an enemy, which might get you more overkill hits. Oh no, I did not kill him. That is unfortunate. So we will not be 3-turning this one. So I could not get away with it there. I will, however, again, just abuse the charge here. Get Ozzy again. So we're going to get Ozzy in the third wave. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. I am just going to Brave Chain this and go after Ozzy specifically because I kind of want him dead ASAP. Which seems to only show up in that interlude. Yeah, it's an interlude. Like, interludes are at least a thing, but it's like I said, I haven't heard anyone reference that in a while. There are many old references that, like, people have almost forgotten. Like, in that regard, like, remember, my initial instinct was that you were talking about Abby. I know exactly what you guys are talking about, but it has been a hot minute. Okay, this is a little bit problematic because he is immediately rip-roaring and raring to go. One of the things that I can at least abuse potentially here is that. So Ozzy cannot Noble Phantasm this turn because he is stunned. That I can use to my advantage. So we're going to do a full arch chain here. It should get me at least a little bit of refund. The sparkly princess and Kucaster. I pulled a stall phone, had no clue he was on the next banner. So, which would you pick from my list? Nursery Rhyme, Nero, Woo Assassin for the SR ticket. Do you need a single target assassin? Because Woo is really good at that. And if not, I'd probably go Umu. Okay, just to be on the safe side, since I can't stall him again, we will now make myself invincible. And I'm going to do both of those in peace. We get cheeky with the next Evo. Yeah, when is the next Evo, by the way? I knew this one was coming up because it was of particular import to me. But, is it November for the next one? Oh, there you go. So we just shy. So it's a good thing I did the precautionary invuln for the party. So Ozzy gets off his NP. He slams Waver between two pyramids, seals his MP, and applies defense down, which is not going to do anything to me and make me not care in the slightest. Unfortunately, I get all resistant cards, so not the best of circumstances. So we'll go with the Brave Chain and hope that I have enough damage here, but it's probably not. Yeah, we'll have it with the extra. God, just barely she was able to do 12k. That's why you don't want to mess around too much with resistant cards. If you're not effective, you are dealing 0.5 damage. It is not good. Like, there's neutral. Neutral's okay. You're at least dealing 1.0 damage. Effective is 2 times, and semi-effective is 1.5 times. The Berserkers, for instance, are semi-effective against a lot of things. But if you're resistant, you're only dealing 0.5. That is not a lot of damage. And it is definitely going to backfire if you're having to, like, try to damage everything with it. Have you seen that thing about Earth being in a cosmic void, and outside that we have way more matter? What do you mean? Are you talking about, like, how outside the solar system there is, like, particle density and stuff like that? Because everything's just, like, random and rampant. I don't know why the story jumped all the way up here, but it did. Even the decisive battle, and this is an assassin that we're fighting. And I have a feeling I know who. Let's see what I have on the list of units here. I actually might have just the ticket on my all. I do. So this is San Zhang. San Zhang is a very good unit. As far as single target casters go, single target casters are not normally known for their damage output. But San Zhang can definitely do some work with you due to the fact that she is a unit that can charge herself 80% again. So same deal with the maxed out mana loading. She's going to get a whole lot better. Let me see this link. A massive intergalactic void. Interesting. Hey, Ventas, thank you for the raid, buddy. How you doing? What you been up to lately? Oh god, it's 3 of them. Okay, I maybe misguessed this, but we can still make it work. All right, so basically we're gonna go ahead and use all of her stuff right off the rip. Of these, they're all single target assassins, so we're basically just gonna target the highest health one first, but there is some annoyances with this. Having Oberon here is not good, as you guys can see. I got 5 of a kind Oberon cards. This would be perfect for one of Ventos's challenges. Unfortunately, it's not going my way at this point. So honestly, I'll probably just use him for a little bit of a mighty chain here to let him generate some NP himself and give me some stars. I am Florida Man once again. Hey, congrats. So that's why you haven't been streaming. You've been moving. Did the whole Olga Marie quest blind first try and had a blast? Hey, nice. Yeah, the first one is at least like not too terrible. The second one is also pretty okay. The third one is the one everyone refers to as the most difficult one. So that is definitely one to watch out for, but nice. Happy to get back into the regular routine for sure. Yep. So are you at least enjoying your setup now that you're down here in Florida? Let's see here. I could swap, but it is not a good idea to. So I actually think, against my better judgment, I'm going to go ahead and brick Sanzang. Now, you would not normally see me do this, but one of the reasons that I'm going for it is because the game is just actually screwing me on cards. Also, I basically at least have a full lineup of caster cards here since Oberon's cards can't show up. So while I'm not necessarily going to get a whole lot out of this, I can at least potentially get one of them killed and then work on another one. So we're going after Serenity here. I probably shouldn't have, actually. I probably should have gone with 100 Faces because 100 Faces has a dodge. But it is what it is. Ads, no! Pull over on cards happen more often than you think. Usually not more often than I think. Oh my god, now I get all of her cards, of course. So that did not work out for me. That one I should have paid a little bit more attention to. But basically what I'm gonna do is this right here. Oh no, do I still not have enough? Okay, just enough for her to actually get her NP off. Unfortunately, she's dodging. So my only play is stun. I gotta pay more attention. There's nothing you can do here. Just literally send the card and enjoy. Now I can use this. Oh my god. The carding on this one has been absolutely atrocious. I got pretty much one of the worst possible seeds I could have. Sorry, chat, 1 second. And Ventos, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, my man. Careful, Cad, you nearly became a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Listen, it happens, okay? Like, there is just a point where you have to say, like, all right, I got screwed by the cards. Make the best of it. And that's like one of the reasons why it's good to at least understand how to handle it. I've tried to be as verbal as possible with you guys when I'm playing, walk you guys through it, and make you guys understand like how to handle a situation in which you fuck up. If only my lineup was this jack back when I was playing this node. I can't even have C because the DPS. Yeah, like it definitely helps out to have like a back line that you can rely on. The heart of the cards betraying Cad. It's because my heart is elsewhere, chat. So basically, let's go with again a berserker here. 60% of my stream time is talking through my thought process at any given turn. Yeah, 100%. Because, like, you're sitting there, like, debating with yourself sometimes, too. Like, what is the best course of action? And you're trying to, like, reason your way into it. Now, one of these is going to be Tristan, and I know it. And I don't think it's this one. But if it is, oh, God. But nearly sending Castorius and P into an evading enemy is something. Oh, trust me, I do that all the time because I get either distracted by chat or, like right now, I am talking to this girl. So that is definitely like getting some of my attention, right? Like, so me not paying attention to what the enemy specifically did on that turn definitely is causing me to make some mistakes. Oh, is it Gawain again? Please tell me it's not Gawain. I'm not kidding for Gawain. Okay, let's try it regardless. I guess Cad's normie era. It's funny because we've both joked about the fact that neither of us are actually normies. But to a degree, you gotta do a normie thing every now and then. So this is unfortunate. Again, we're shy on 2 enemies. This Ibuki just basically got weight roomed. Now, part of that's on me. I have not worked on like my waiver skills as much as I should have, for instance. So we'll actually just go ahead and abuse the Mighty Chain on Lady Avalon, get as much charge as I can, walking into whatever fresh new hell awaits me on battle number 2. Okay, it's just more Enforcement Knights, thank God. I was getting a little worried for a second there, but this is a cakewalk. So we'll just pop all of our steroids and send it. And we pretty much know, due to the first wave, that this should have enough damage to kill. Do I have to spread the salt already, Kat? I saw your post on Twitter. It was great. I loved it. Watch TV with the wife. Understandable. Have a great rest of the stream. Thank you. And thank you again for the raid. And welcome, guys, from Ventos to stream. Again, if you've never watched me, my name's Kadroth. I stream FGO all the time. I am currently working on a new player account, basically walking everybody through the story how an FGO veteran would do it. I'm obviously skipping story proper. Oops, sorry. Just touched my statue there. And trying to give everybody a little bit of a leg up on, like, understanding the game and like knowing how to handle story progression and various systems and things like that. So this account, hilariously enough, has gotten really lucky, but it's both like proper planning and play and also just being in the right place at the right time and getting lucky with it. So this is all berserkers. That is interesting. I don't believe we have a proper berserker boss in Camelot, so this is probably actually berserker, so I might abuse this. There we go. Des Oceans de Alegres should work. Because what do you mean you're getting back 100%, 102% on 2 enemies? I mean, that might happen here. Get a P5 surf mode when she was on better with Archer Castor, or sorry, Archer Artoria. And I've been enjoying her looping shenanigans. So yeah, like surf mode's looping capacity is hilarious. So it is just all Berserker Enforcement Knights. We are basically just going to abuse this for maximum firepower on turn 1 so I don't suffer the same fate that what's his face did. Or sorry, what's her face did, Ibuki. Look, this is only have NP5. I've not gotten any issues with her damage. Yeah, like her damage is definitely a little bit suspect, but also like the buff on JP has really helped her out. She's a lot more viable now. So you can do Ort with the welfares and a few more, pretty much. Ort is a little bit about like preparing and knowing how to handle him, and once you do, he's not bad per se. I think like the more difficult thing is trying to like handle the final version of him. But as long as you've like gotten to that point, you're probably okay. But yeah, I'm aware. I just look, chat, I'm gonna say this. You can copy what the guy did. Be my guest. It doesn't cheapen what I'm doing in the slightest. Because this is not about speed. This is about getting your account as properly prepared as possible. You can rush the story, and you can absolutely get through it, and you can get a lot of resources from that. But most people can't do what that guy did because most of you, like, if you're just starting out, aren't going to understand the game. So it's like, it's easy to like point to that and be like, oh, hey, anybody can do that. Not really. A question mark and a ruler. That's an interesting one. When in doubt, Berserker it out. But this could get a little bit spicy. So I still have her on the back line. Should be okay. Kid Gil nearly mauled an entire phase by himself. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of work you can do, especially due to the fact that, like, you can solo Orc. So, like, the raid is less of an issue because of something like that. If they actually required you to take 3 units at a time, Orc would be a very different type of challenge. And it would be kind of funny. I think it's just all Enforcement Knights again, but I may be wrong. I'm going to stagger cards here just to be on the safe side in case I shortchange one of these. It's because they rely heavily on 3 units and don't do anything else with any other units, so they run out. Which is funny because that's like low key what I'm doing, but I guess you could argue that like I understand how to use all the other units, so it's not an issue. I'm also slowly working on them on the side. Like for instance, when I'm off stream chat, I'm either just making blue apples to preserve so I can farm a little bit more, or I am, like, for instance, going back to, I believe Okeanos is the best one I have access to for seeds. So I have been trying to farm that. May as well just do all the steroids here. By the time you get to LB70, all the rest of the units are a good number of them to max natural level. Yep. Okay, sure, they did use Quartz Revive for the speed run. But it was still about planning. 100%. But I could also argue you almost don't need to plan Ort if you just actually have, like, developed your account. So it's like, saying it's about planning is like, yeah, but only if you're doing something breakneck like that. Like, I'm sorry, Dade, not to be rude here, but like, I don't really care that someone did it in 55 hours. I don't really care that, like, they managed to beat the story as fast as possible. Because what I'm doing is so infinitely more valuable to the community. Teaching people the game works so much more on so many more levels, as opposed to, oh wow, I'm not going to take away from the accomplishment he did. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely cool. But most people probably don't care. Like, it's just a fascination more than anything. It's an interesting proof of concept. It's interesting that it can be done, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I'd like to see someone speedrun the Olga fights. I mean, it's same deal. It's about planning. So it's like, as long as you plan it right, it doesn't matter. Like, to a degree, it is what it is. I'm going to say, again, it is an interesting accomplishment, but I feel like people often bring this up to me while I'm doing the new player account as a means of, like, almost trying to, like, one-up me. So if I seem a little defensive, that is why. Because it's kind of missing the forest for the trees. And it's not like me actually being defensive about it. It's me pointing out, it's like, hey, it's not really relevant. It is similar, but it's not the same thing. Because like I said, your average player is not going to have the knowledge to do something like that. It serves as a point of reference. No, the fact that it serves as a point of reference is my point. You're using it as a reference to be like, oh, we're going to judge everything else by that. And it's like, no, it's, again, missing the forest for the trees. It does not matter. A new player cannot do what that person did. So being like, oh, well, you can do it in this time. It's like, it doesn't really matter. Nobody cares. Give me I beat FGO with only double Arash Nobukatsu, and that impresses me. Yeah. Well, it's like the same thing that I've pointed out to people for years where someone goes like, hey, like someone beat a fight using only 3 stars. Hey, somebody did this using only welfares. Hey, like so-and-so managed to like solo this fight. It doesn't matter. Because if you go back and you look at that, the vast majority of people cannot emulate what that person did. So it's interesting, it's entertaining, it is not relevant for the vast majority of players. And that's why, like, I've pointed this out to people over the years that, like, for instance, oh, hey, I did a fight using only 3 stars, using CEs that you can no longer acquire, using units that are, like, absolutely geared up to the teeth and, like, maxed out, min-maxed, right? Which you could do that, given enough time, and then played to perfection. So it's like I said, most players don't even have the technical knowledge to play the game to such a level. Like, I sit here and I talk about the stuff all the time. You guys are usually smarter for it, but there's times where I'm doing something wrong. There's times where I basically can't, like, perform in the way that I would like because I'm either distracted or I just, like, I don't know, did not, like, think of something. And then there's also going to end up being times where just, like, the RNG just doesn't go your way. A lot of people don't understand in, like, say, for instance, a pre-recorded challenge fight, that usually it's not done in one take. There are usually multiple runs and a lot of planning that go into perfecting, like, say, for instance, a speed run. And that's why, again, it's like, it's interesting, it's cool. It is not relevant to the average player. They cannot do anything with it. And it's just like, honestly, I guess you could argue this is like an issue I've been fighting as a streamer for years at this point. Okay, so this is a Saber. This is probably Mordred again. If memory serves. But, like, again, I'm not trying to, like, dunk on anyone or anything like that. This is just me pointing out that, like, there's kind of these, like, logical fallacies that float around over the years, and it becomes a little bit of a, like, problem because you have to try to break through it and explain to people why it is or isn't a thing. And it is, in fact, Mordred. So, as I mentioned before, I can potentially risk this and scuff. This might be strong enough to kill. I think she's got a 50% C, so it's probably not strong enough to kill on the outright. But let's go ahead and send it, see what we can do. And if it doesn't drain, you can scuff. Or you could try to just be protective and use Lady Avalon's noble or invuln there to protect against it. But the problem is Mordred's just going to keep getting back to it every single turn. So let's see if we drain. Got 70% chance. We did not drain. So that basically means it's a scuff, because otherwise she is going to kill us outright. So when you want to scuff, and this is, I think, the first time I've actually shown you guys a scuff on this. But basically you just close down the app. If you're on your phone, you know, do whatever you need to close your app that way. But you'll see how this works, as it basically will bring us back to the exact same turn we were just at. But it is an interesting thing. I've always found challenge fights and the way people get through them interesting. I still think clearing all of story in 55 hours is a monumental accomplishment, and it is very interesting. But like I said, bringing it up constantly in a stream like this is basically just tantamount to being like, oh, you didn't need to do that. It's like, obviously I'm aware of it. Obviously I know about it. And actually, I think most people do know about it at this point. I've seen it discussed numerous times. But I don't want to, like, take away from the people that are doing stuff like that. So we pretty much know that it's not going to drain. There's two ways you can handle this. I could just say, okay, it's not going to drain, and I can pop the invuln. Or, and this is another interesting thing to teach you guys. In FGO, we have a concept called seeds. What do I mean? Basically, if I were to resend this, it would happen in the exact same way it has happened before. So I could resend Artoria's Noble Phantasm, and Mordred would not get drained. However, if I activate a skill or use, say, my Mystic Code, it will change the seed. There are also other interesting ways you can change seeding with regards to crits that are not specific to the others. Crits are a little bit of a weirder topic. So, like, let's say I were to use, like, her Noble Phantasm, that card right there, and that card right there. Obviously, the 100% crit card is going to crit, but this card might not. But depending on where I put it in the sequence, I can change things around, and I might be able to change whether or not it crits. You're probably thinking, well, it's only a 30%. What are the odds of it critting? It's really low. And it's like, yeah, but the way you need to think about a crit is as if it's yes, it will crit, or no, it won't. And you can keep playing with the, like, order of the cards to see if you can manage to manipulate it to get a crit. So there are different things you can do. But when it comes to changing a seed, so changing an enemy's output and your own output and actions, the only way to do that is to actually activate another skill. So in this case, there's not a whole lot I can do. I'm just going to go ahead and activate the defense buff. And let's see. Let's see if it changed it. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But this is a helpful thing to know if you ever get stuck and you're like right on the cusp of being able to beat a fight, right? And we still didn't get the drain. Ironically enough, we got better damage there, but it is what it is. So with that, ironically enough, this is actually an interesting thing. And I can basically maybe just outright kill here. Right, Camelot? Yeah. As I recall, one of the Mordred fights with the prototype for Breakfires, it was multiple battles against Mordred in the same node. I've never heard it referred to as the prototype for Breakbars, but yeah, I guess I could see that, because it is kind of how it works. Okay, so we're loading back in. We're still on the same turn, but now, obviously, we have done that. So basically, the idea of scuffing as well is you have to make sure you scuff before the turn ends. So you can send your stuff, and then the enemy will take their actions. Only once it comes back to you has the turn ended. So you can scuff anytime up until it comes back to you and the cards are redisplayed again. And you might get away with it. Just don't cut it too close. But that is one way of handling it. But yeah, no, I actually think I'm going to just pop all of my attack buffs here and kind of full send this. And let's see. Because I might have the damage capacity to actually kill. And that time it drained. So we got a different outcome. And of course we killed, so it didn't matter. I love it. I love that no matter, like, how much I mess with this stuff, like, seeding always has a little bit of jank to it. And it's kind of hilarious. But I wanted to kind of show you guys that so that you guys could understand the different implications. So that time it did drain. And it's kind of ironic because we've actually had really low success rate with the drain so far in the new player account utilizing my Squirtoria from the other account. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, she has a 70% chance to drain. So it's not a bad chance. It's not guaranteed, but it actually should be happening far more than it is. So it is kind of funny that I keep getting bad draws with it. All right, this is Tristan. So let's try to do the same thing that we were attempting last time. We're going to go ahead. We're going to use Okita and go for that. Yeah, we're pretty much almost done with Camelot. So once we're done with Camelot, we head into Babylonia. Once we're done with Babylonia, we head into Solomon Temple of Time, which is the ending of part 1 of the story. There is basically only part 1 and part 2 of the story, but part 2 is a lot longer. There's a lot more to it. There's also the Epic of Remnants, but Epic of Remnants, while they are really nice and good to do for unlocking nodes and getting resources, they are not required in terms of story completion. So usually people will tell you, hey, skip them at least until you're caught up, because you kind of want to get caught up so that you don't get locked out of events. I actually don't have an arts card. I could get the crit damage from this, but I think I have plenty of crit damage already as is. So we will give her the arts up in that regard. And I will give her all my attack buffs because she actually does have a quite nice CE. So Okita's a little bit weird. She has Shikuchi. This is just a 1-turn quick up of about 50% if you're at rank 10. However, basically this is going to increase your attack if you inflict normal attacks before damage. Okita's card performance is actually stellar. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. It makes a whole lot of sense to actually card with her after the MP, and she can potentially get back to another if she crits well. However, in this set of circumstances, I'm going for 1-shot damage, therefore pre-carding to get more attack up for her Noble Phantasm to be set up is just smarter. So actually, we'll just go ahead and do with it. Just give me more crit damage. We gotta hope the 70 or the 90% crits there, and it does. But yeah, now we only have to do 249k. This should kill. If not, I will be disappointed in her. But remember, Tristan's gimmick is that he reverses the normal damage triangle, so sabers are effective against him instead of lancers. That's weird. If you didn't know it was Tristan coming up, I understand how you probably took a Lancer in and went, oh crap. I've seen many people do that over the years. Don't feel too bad about it. It's perfectly fine. This is just one of those deals where, again, like, I remember all of this crap. Camelot's also one of my favorite singularities, just both narratively and in general for like the characters that it has within it. She's showing us effective, so I'm guessing that's a gimmick of the fight. In particular, yes. Tristan literally ends up reversing stuff. Poor Ku, I watched him suffer. Yep. Okay, I don't believe this is boss battles. I think this is just the Enforcement Knights again, but I may be wrong. Let's go with a Berserker and let's try it out and let's see. Okay, he's one of the only saber faces with non-blue-green eyes. Non-blue-green eyes. I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of the altars have, like, yellow, so... Okay, we definitely have a lot higher health values here. I could try to buff myself up enough to be able to handle it. Well, let's go with it. Why not? Let's see what we can do. I basically still have a good 90% charge there from that. Actually, just to be on the safe side, let's also infall. Oh man, I'll do it like that. Basically put the Ibuki Buster third just for damage potential, but also to stagger the cards. Yep, still not enough. We did get one dead, though. And we will be able to do it again, so not going to be a big deal. Just send it once more. All right, Dracos are red. Yeah, I think Mordred's are as well. Oh no, wait, no, I'm thinking of the craft essence that I just saw. I was going through some of the images on my phone, and I saw the craft essence from Summer, where she's basically is like the vampire hunter, and she has red eyes and that. Yeah. Lakshmi should be yellow as well. I like how one person made one comment and now chat's like trying to prove them wrong. Yamato Takaru counted? I count Takaru. The game technically doesn't. A saber. Is this Gawain again? Or is this just all enforcement knights? Hold on, let me back out real quick. 5 AP. I don't know. Better play it safe than sorry. Hey, we should be able to beat Camelot tonight. We are pretty much right at the end of it. This is kind of the problem. Sometimes I'm having to guess between, is it an AoE fight or is it a single target fight? Knowing my luck, it'll be an AoE fight with all enforcement knights. It's Gawain! Let's go. I guessed right. Okay. I really did not think I was going to get that one right, but we did. Okay, take the Mighty Chain. I'll put her card third just so one more damage and two potentially more refund. I'm not going to get a whole lot of refund off of a Buster card, but with an Arts Lead and a Mighty Chain, you can at least get some. There you go. It actually helped. I got 5%. Oh, he gave himself guts, of course. And you can see, look how much charge he gets. Again, he increased the charge by 2 each turn. Now is where the drain's really going to come in handy. It shouldn't be a big old guts. We're just going to give as much firepower as possible there. And the guts will pop. It will act as a sequence break in the chain, though. So we're basically going to kill him with the NP. The guts will pop. And then the card should handle, unless this is short on the NP. Nope, there we go. We got it. So now the cards handle it. Guts is weird like that. You can trigger it with an NP because an NP will act as a sequence break in a chain of cards. It's him, the vibe check, right? Especially since the final boss of Camelot usually surrenders without a fight. So on this channel, I love the saber faces, obviously, as chat can see. And so I usually, I've made it a gimmick, especially on the main account, to never show me killing a saber face. However, for the purposes of this guide, because I am going through the story with you guys, I will have to show it. So, chat's going to have a field day with this. It's going to be the only recorded instance of me killing my own wife. But technically, she's not my wife. If you've been following the story, you know. Okita is also just really good at shredding her. It is what it is. So we're basically going into about a 500k HP fight. I don't really have a better option in terms of Mystic codes. While I could go with, like, say, the OG Mystic code for the attack up, this one's kind of as good. So it really just boils down to what I'm dealt with in terms of the cards. You monster, technically the Lion King is not Lartoria. At least in this instance. But she is my favorite, chat. Sorry, I said 500k. It's about 600. Okay, we only have the one Okita card here to begin with. That is less than ideal, but I'm still just going to go ahead and send it. We will Shikuchi it and go with it. Probably going to need as much refund here as possible, so I'm actually going to do a weird thing. I'm going to well, no, it won't matter. I don't have to do the Mighty Chain. I was going to say, the old tactic would have been pre-carding VNP, but here, now I just basically put it after. But basically, we're going to do this to make sure that there is technically an arts lead. But I knew I wouldn't have enough damage to outright get it. Now it's going to be who gets to their NP first, Okita or her? So the thing to watch out for with Goddess Rongominiad here is she actually has Invuln Pierce on her Noble Phantasm, and she can get to it quite fast due to having a charge skill. You have to be a little bit careful if you're running a unit that has Invuln, as opposed to somebody like, well, I don't have Plug Suit, so I can't show you guys, but like, say somebody like Castoria Berserker who has Solemn Defense. Invuln Pierce doesn't pierce Solemn Defense, so you're actually pretty good in that regard. So I do have an Okita Arts card, and there are significant stars. Plus, I also have the capacity to get to my NP, so we're just going to abuse this. We're going to fire off another NP, and if we are lucky enough to kill, we kill. If not, the card should mop this up. There we go. And you can see, look at Okita's card performance there, all the way back to 93%. Okita can be really, really strong when she's critting. And that's one of the things that a lot of people underestimate about her. A lot of people think she's just kind of okay. She's one of the better kept secrets of FGO. She's actually very stellar at looping, and you would not think it at first glance. Oh, unavoidable cutscene. Sorry, chat. I'll just tell Chaos to edit this part out. Maybe edit out the kill shot too. Well, I used the Saberface to kill a Saberface. Isn't that how it should go? My 120 Okita says hi. Yeah, mine's only 100, unfortunately. At least for now. That'll change. Uh-oh. Wait, do I have to do it again? I don't remember having to do it again. Was there back to back? Hmm. Cat, how could you bully our tray? Listen. How barbaric, stop spamming caps. Don't worry about it, John. Nightbot on YouTube's end is just really like overtuned. Oh right, yeah, 671k. I forgot this is a double fight. Okay, so we get to do it again. And this time I actually do have all of her cards. So this time you're going to see me do the crit up strat here. Also going to abuse this because we're going to try to get as much firepower as we possibly can. And that might not work out well for me, but we're damn well going to try. Hopefully the 80% crits here. It did. So there you go, down to 405k. Stacking crit damage is really, really nice. And there you go, one turned. So card RNG makes a big difference. You saw, with the first one, I had to take 2 turns in order to do it. I had to brute force charge myself the second time because I just didn't get the cards. This second time, I actually just managed to one-shot because I had the cards that I needed. Like I said, I didn't even have quick supports. Imagine her with quick supports and it gets even nuttier. Now, damage output, if you're using like an NP1 Okita, not going to be as strong, but hey, it is what it is. Out of curiosity, how many total Saint Quartz could you get if you speedrun the story and finish Ordeal Call 4, including, well, the obvious big bonus? That I don't know. I don't keep track of the total amount of Saint Quartz the story gives. Usually there are tracker spreadsheets for that. Our spreadsheet's out of date. I need to get with Torak to get it up to date. But I do know Zuth keeps his up to date, and he actually does have the quartz number on there, so that should help you. But that's usually just for events. Story, I'm not entirely sure what the total amount is. And now we have unlocked several interludes, including Nitocris, which is definitely one that I've been needing. And we got a free copy of Bedivere. And next up is Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. So that'll be next on our list of things to do. Also, there's now free exchange conditions for that. Just, it doesn't mean that you can get the CE for free. It just means it won't cost you a rare prism. But again, so we will basically check us for the next time. I am not going to be streaming tomorrow. Again, as I mentioned to you guys at the beginning of stream, I have a date tomorrow. I'm excited for it. There is an NA live stream tomorrow. If you need to, feel free to watch it on YouTube. The link is posted in Discord. Also, if you need a synopsis and you don't care to watch the live stream, I do already have the guide out for the Wandjina event. That's the event that's coming up here on NA. I will be back Thursday with you guys. We'll definitely do the event and talk about things then. So again, hope you guys have a good one. Let me see if anybody is on. Anybody I can send some love to. Chat, I see Miss Simon Ivy. I believe I gave Chaldea Guru's the last one, so let's raid her. And again, like I said, I'll be back Thursday, so I will see you guys then. Go give the Gotcha Gurus my love. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. Get on the Discord. It's the easiest way to know when I'm streaming next. So I'll see you guys for the next one. Go give them my love. Have a good evening.